First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that things have been. Oh, ooh. Second thing, second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the sail, I'm the master of my sea. Oh, ooh, the master of my sea. Oh, ooh. I was broken from a young age, taking my soul into the masses, writing my poems for the few that look at me, took at me, shook at me, feeling me, singing from heartache, from the pain, taking my message from the veins, speaking my lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the pain. Let the bullets fly or let them rain. My love, my love, my drive, it came from you made me a believer, believer. Things turns and a prayer to the ones up above. All the hate that you've heard has turned your spirit to a dove. Oh, ooh, your spirit up above. Oh, ooh. I was choking in the crowd, building my rain up in the cloud, falling like ashes to the ground, hoping my feelings they would drown, but they never did. Ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke up when it rained down. It rained down like. You made me a believer, believer. You made me a believer, believer. Last things last, by the grace of the fire and the flames. You're the face of the future, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh. But they never did, ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke up when it rained down. It rained down like. You made me a believer, believer. Let the bullets fly or let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from. You made me a believer, believer.
Eight teams remain, and the question still stands. Who is the best in Amateur Rocket League? 3 leagues have looked to answer that question. The Ascent Tournament Series, Kohaku Rocket League Series, and the Cross Progression League have invited each of their 4 best teams to compete. Now only 8 remain. I'm Spotty FC. Joining me here is ZekVexol. You're joining the Ascent Tournament Series mainstream for the last day of the Champions Cup number 3. This is day 2, and the quarterfinals will begin in just a few moments here with 100X Knight versus KyleG Aura. But my goodness, ZekVexol, what a big tournament here, and really, with $150 on the line, teams are going to fight for this. But even more than just that, as well included, is the title of being the best in the Amateur Rocket League. People don't get that title. We haven't seen that title really given to anyone here in a true honest format. But tonight really feels like where you can really determine if you are that best in the amateur scene.
Yeah, like you said, 12 teams enter, 8 teams now remain. We're going to crown the champion, the best team across Amateur Rocket League tonight. Right here, we are 3 hours away from crowning that champion. And hey, I gotta say, Sporty, if I can play my favorite game on a Sunday night and come out with $150, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Don't sign me up. I wouldn't pass that up in a heartbeat, Buy me lunch for the week, maybe 2 weeks, whatever it may be. I know I'm gonna be loving every moment of it. 3 leagues, 3 of the biggest leagues in Amateur Rocket League. Well, I can't say really history. Can I say history? I think I can say history.
You can
right
absolutely
now.
say it.
I can absolutely say history. 3 of the biggest leagues right now in Amateur Rocket League history are joining us tonight for this event. And we have some of the biggest team names, some of the biggest player names that you might be seeing up there in the highest end of the rank scene, in the highest end when you're watching any of these streams, watching any of these leagues. Guys, this is electric competition. And as you said, we're going to be kicking off with 100X Knight and KyleG Aura. But Sporty, what are some of the other teams that we're going to be seeing throughout this bracket?
I'm so happy that you told me this, because we have our final bracket set up right here, right now. This is what it looks like here. So, as you said, 8 teams remain here. 3 from the Ascent Tournament Series, 4 from the Rocket League Series, and 1 from the Cross Progression League. To make it really easy for you, all the KRLS teams, by incredible seeding and incredible odds, are in that lower side of the bracket. They're the 4 teams at the bottom there. Team Fortnite, Justice for Solo, Peces and La Pecera, and the Bubble Duckies. On the upper side, that upper 4 teams, 3 of them are ATS. The only one that is not is KyleG Aura, who will be seeing in our first match of the night. It's a big one as well. I mean, you're talking about, as you said, names that people recognize. Velocity, Reshiram, who both made top 16 in EU not too long ago. You're talking about players like Hotshot and Peaky, or you're talking about Jared and Manny Alar and Perscope, who've all themselves made top 32. There's some good players here. You're talking about Shawnee State, Slayer, Taco Stash 84, Adverse Meteor. Some very, very big names competing in this bracket. And tonight, it's all single elimination. All is riding on this. We're at a big moments here in Amateur Rocket League history.
Sporty, I gotta ask, I'm pretty sure some people at home are asking, and I have to say, I guarantee some people are at home are asking, they're looking at these are the biggest names right now in Rocket League, in the rank scene, in the competitive scene, and they want to know how they can sign up for some of these tournaments, how they can get themselves involved to maybe start playing in the upper divisions of these leagues and maybe find themselves right here on these streams.
As you said as well. No, you didn't blindside me at all. You mentioned it. These are the best teams in the Amateur Rocket League. You were talking about which teams here are the best, or which teams?
Some people at home want to know how they can actually play in some of these tournaments.
Well, to do that, you join all the leagues. This is an invite-only tournament at this point. So if you join the Ascent Tournament Series, KyleG Rocket League Series, and the Cross Progression League, you can get involved just like these teams are. Now, granted, you might want to be 2K MMR to get to that point and do really well during the regular season, but if you can fulfill all those criteria, and there's a good amount of players who can, this is a tournament that you can play in. And well, in the future, I already know for a fact the horizons are very pretty for the Champions Cup, because a lot of other leagues want to get involved as well. So if you think that these are the only 3 options, I promise you they won't be. There will be other people involved. So if maybe ATS, KRLS, and CPL aren't the leagues you want to play in, you're a league if you play in any of these, in any amateur league, especially any amateur league based in North America, your league might be the next one included. But what a night it is here. While we're talking about all these teams getting in and how to compete, let's talk about the teams that are competing right now. 100X Knight, KyleG, or our first match of the evening. And it's a very simple one. 100X Knight are the #1 overall team from the Ascent Tournament Series. Two-time champions, won the last 3 Ascent Tournament Series tournaments, including the Paradise Cup #3. On your side is KyleG, or the only team left from the Cross Progression League, battling for all of CPL's pride, because they're the only team left. If they are out here, so too does the hopes of CPL winning the Champions Cup.
Yeah, these are some really great players. I know I've just had the liberty, literally just weeks ago, I should say, of casting Periscope, Jared, Manny Alar, and Crypto, 100X Knights roster, just taking it all, running a show. I have to say, this is a team that's going to come out swinging, and they don't let up the gas pedal. If anything, they slam it even further through the floor. I have to figure, it's kind of like a Fred Flintstone. He's shoving his foot right through the floor of the car, just going down, running it down, absolutely just rallying up the score on you. If you leave even the slightest gap for these teams, they will take advantage of it. KyleG, or I've had the liberty of seeing them in the past before. Similar instance, you give them an opening, they will take it. And that's really how it is at this upper division. You can't leave those openings, because a split-second opening against these higher-level teams, bam, that's a shot on goal. Bam, that goes on in. We're starting to rally up the score. You can't be too careful. You got to make sure you're covering all your angles. You got to make sure you are all over that pitch because, let me tell you, these teams will take any opportunity you give them.
As you said as well, these teams will take an opportunity. And for Knight, actually, they're playing with a sub as well in this final bracket. In fact, if I'm not wrong, I think all the ATS teams are playing with subs. So, in this final bracket. So, ATS, you know, as usual, they're like, no, we're too good. We got to give ourselves a handicap in this tournament. All the ATS teams, I believe, are playing with a sub here. So, at least for their first match of the evening. They're all on the same side. It's all going to be very interesting. But we'll have to just wait and see how things go here. As, man, these teams have a lot to prove and a lot to play for.
A lot to prove, a lot to play for. $150 on the line.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, you're able to, you know, maybe get yourself some food. You know, that's pretty cool. You know, you can maybe, you know, put it towards...
Get yourself some food. I mean, we're talking about a title here up for grabs.
That's
Who wouldn't
true.
want to be the best
You know
in
what?
Amateur Rocket League?
Who cares about the money? It's like, yeah, I can just sit there. I can go into my Rocket League games. If I, oh man, I beat you in the ranked game. Okay, cool. But I'm like titled the best in the Amateur Rocket League series. You know, it's fine. You know, you can take this little ranked game win. I don't care. I was messing around. I beat you where it counted, right?
Exactly, that's where it matters here. And for all these teams, we are going to have also some fun rematches here as well in this bracket. Knights and KyleG Oregon, our first one. I believe this was a rematch from ATS Season 5, because I believe Aura was in this tournament. Were they in the same group, though? They weren't, actually. They didn't even play each other in that season. But there's an Aura team that didn't make top 8 in ATS. They got a real tough matchup against them here, against a Knight team that has won the last 2 seasons, and has won the last 2 seasons with little complications as well. So far for Knight, there's 2 teams that they played against that they've had issues with in ATS history, at least in terms of the league. None of those 2 teams are KyleG Aura. One of them is in this bracket in Shawnee State. That's a team to watch out for. But for KyleG Aura, they have so far not really done much to pose a threat to Knight. But for CPL and for Cross Progression League's hopes, they better hope Aura can really pull something out here, because this is going to be a very tough match for them. Knight are a solid team, and for Aura, I mean, their group stage wasn't bad, but I think many consider them the group that they came out of, Group D, was the easiest group of the 4. So, they've got a lot to prove here. More importantly, they got to prove that they can actually compete with the rest of the top 8 teams here.
Yeah, they went 1-1 over there in Group D, so not the best kind of position you want to be in, but still being able to make it to this finals bracket, I'd say pretty good, you know? However, 100X Knight, they have been just continuously a relentless team. Like we said, the past 2 seasons over there, they have been the grand champions over in the ATS. This is a team that does not let up. They've held the same roster. Granted, they've had a sub. They're going to have a sub tonight. So maybe a little bit of a pat on the back. Say, oh, yeah, you know, the ATS teams being some of the big dogs, you know, they need a little bit of a handicap. We'll see if that handicap is still going to be enough to be able to guide them through this. They have to get through this first match against KyleG Aura to even think about their next match in the semifinals against the potential of rematching against Shawnee State, against seeing a team who's also over there from the ATS series. And these 2 teams have been going back and forth for a little bit of time now, I would say.
As you said as well, these teams have been going back and forth, and so too have these leagues. I'm really looking forward to the end of the night, because we're going to have KRLS versus either ATS or CPL in the Grand Finals. You're talking about matchups between different leagues. Our Grand Finals is guaranteed to be a matchup between 2 different leagues. I'm not going to guarantee it's going to be it's a match that's new, because there's just Vasols on the other side, and they played against all the teams on this side, basically. But we'll have to wait and find out. For now, though, I'm excited here. This is going to be a very fun final bracket. And for Knight, again, playing with a sub in the final bracket in Rock Years, it's going to make things a little bit more difficult for themselves here. Now, the benefit is, I believe Manny Alar, who he is subbing in, is available to play for the finals. So all Knight have to do is get through 2 rounds of action, and they'll have Manny Alar available. But that is easier said than done, especially again with Shawnee State on the other side. That Shawnee State team is a team that can be Knight. They took them to Game 6. You got to see that match. They took them to Game 6 in the semifinals. And Knight not playing with their full roster, it's going to make things a lot tougher for them. Rutgers is a solid player, but you're talking about a Shawnee State team that is playing with their starting roster. From what I believe, I initially was told that they might be playing with a sub. It sounds like they may be playing with their actual roster tonight. So for Knight, I think for them, really what they're hoping for here is to get through this match and really prepare for that semifinals. Because if they're playing Shawnee State, which is almost certainly who they're playing against, things are going to get very tough for them. That could be a very close matchup, and one where they've got to put their heads down and get to work. Because that is a tough match, even with their normal roster, but with the sub as well, it's going to make things tougher.
Yeah, I'll leave it up in the air as the if they can make it past this first one. I'm not going to count KCG Aura out just yet. And honestly, I'm not even going to count out Shawnee State's opposition, you know, Serenix Esports that they're going to be playing over there in the quarterfinals themselves. I have a feeling that, you know, all these teams are here for a reason. They're the top 4 in each of these leagues. They're here for a reason. They're going to come out. They're going to be ready because they know it's all out on the line to be the very best in the Amateur Rocket League series. You know, 100x Night, though, like I said, if they can make it past this quarterfinals, if they can get into that semifinals against Shawnee State, who, if they can make it against into the semifinals themselves, like you said, it's going to be full roster against roster with a sub potentially. And you also said too, took them to game 6 just weeks ago over there in the ATS for semifinals. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be probably the biggest hurdle that they faced in a while. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. It was Knight's biggest hurdle last season as well. It was that semifinals matchup. That was the match that I think they had the toughest time in overall. But they are here, and they are ready, so we should get things underway. Reminder, there are 4 streams of action tonight. KRLS has got theirs, the KRLS official stream. Maxine is live as well, Maxine0_O, and so too is VoiceGuyV, twitch.tv/VoiceGuyV. But here on ATS, the Ascend Tournament Series, it's 100x Knight and KCG Aura. These teams did not play each other during the ATS regular season, but they play each other now here in the quarterfinals, and with Knight with a sub, they're going to hope that this match will not be too hard for themselves here. Aura playing for the life of CPL and the Cross Progression League, but it's Knight with the first goal, and it's Jared, 12 seconds in, who will get the scoring started.
This is something I had the liberty of watching Knight do over in the semifinals and then in the grand finals over ATS. They sit there and their pass game is just on point. Like I said, you leave them an opening, bam, off the wall, bam, nice pass from Jared over to Perry, and right on in it goes. Jared looks it, and he finds a second one. Take a look at that. Sporty, it hasn't even been 15 seconds. 2 on the board for 100x Knight. I told you, this team is going to come out swinging, and they are doing exactly that.
And I think a lot of other people do too. Not only do I think Knight's going to make the grand finals, but so too does the KyleG Rocket League series. The league who would have the most reason to vote against my teams, they also think Knight is going to make the grand finals. So everybody is expecting Knight to have a solid playoff performance, and right now Jared with 3 goals, a hat trick. This is playoff Jared at his finest. He was extremely quiet yesterday, but I mean, you know this as well as I do. Playoff Jared is a whole different beast. He may be slow, and he may be quiet in the regular season, but in playoffs, that's when he's really at his peak form.
Did you see that pass? Rockies just bumps into himself off the backboard, taps it back down right to Jared, and it goes right on in. Now Perry looking for one himself. It's 3-0. We're not even 30 seconds in, let alone a minute in, let alone half this game in. Perry looks and taps it over to the corner, center ball right there, but 2 members of KCG Aura are there on the defense. KCG Aura just needs to take a step back right now and just process what went on. Okay, cool, let it go. It happened. Take a shot yourself, look for the opening, but Jared is there on the defense. Get a little bit of offense going right now for KCG Aura. This is kind of what we were hoping for. Jared, though, air dribble right on down. Nova picks it on up. Picked off by Periscope, though. Now heading back on down into KCG Aura's side of the pitch. Taps it up over the top. It's just going to soar right from one corner to the other of KCG Aura's side. Jared going for the setup, though, right to Rock Heroes. And, well, it's just going to bounce straight up, straight on down. No problem. You know what? KCG Aura, they're happy to take this moment to just take a breather. I should say like 10 seconds without a score, 30 seconds without a score. It's got to feel pretty good right now. KCG Aura looking to get that warm-up out of the way.
We saw Knight all of yesterday in their Group A matchups, undefeated there, including the Bubble Duckies, who I actually have as the second best team in this top 8 bracket. But KCG Aura looking to put a bit of a trouble here. Still, Knight out of possession. Jared with a double tap, and he's got 4 goals on 5 shots. Who said Knight was going to have issues with a sub? Clearly, that wasn't me. It definitely wasn't me. Knight's got 4 goals. It definitely was me. And yet Jared is making sure that I don't feel too nervous as an ATS fan.
You know, Jared sitting here, I want to say he's, Thanos sitting there going, puts his hand in the glove and goes, fine, I'll do it myself. But he really isn't, okay? The pass game between this team is just on point, okay? We're watching Periscope go for the setup, we're watching Rockiers go for the setup, and Jared is just being there to capitalize on every single moment right there. I think that was really the only moment so far in this game that we have seen Jared actually take a moment for himself with that double tap, being able to put it on in. So that's got to feel pretty good. But this is not a one-man show. This is not a one-man game. Knight is proving that they are a team worth worrying about, worth fearing, and we'll see if this defense comes on down now. KCG Aura picking up some aggression, keeping the ball down on Knight's side of the pitch, but, as soon as it comes, it swiftly goes right on back down to KCG Aura, right in front of the goal. Periscope goes for the setup. Nova waiting on the wall to get it on out. Clear ball. Did not know, but Jared swooping on back, goes for a setup. This is good right now for KCG or to just keep that ball out from in front of the goal, because if it's in front of the goal, Knights eyeballing it. They're looking for their prey, they're stalking it, and they're looking for that one opening to just strike.
They are, and you know for KC Aura, they definitely feeling a little bit of those nerves. A team that made top 8 has done better than anybody else in the Cross Progression League, but boy, the road to get here was one that I think was many considered to be not worthwhile. Still, I mean, it absolutely was in my opinion, but a lot of people still have questions, I think, for what KC Aura can do, as X Knight will win that play. Played back by Jared. Periscope looking midfield, actually looking for the net! My goodness, what a shot from Periscope! No respect for Aura. He just goes for it, and the option was there to pass, but Periscope clearly didn't want it, so he just goes right on target and right over Rain.
Such a thin, like, thread right there, right along the wall to just send it right on in. Periscope putting the first one for a different member of 100X Knight on the board. His first goal of the night. 4 for Jared. Rockiers being great on the setup, being great on the save so far. The action is still continuing. It's 5-0. We have about a minute and a half to go, just over a minute and a half left in only game number 1 of this best of 5. Ball going on down. Hey, look at that. It went to Jared. Right on in. 5 on the board for Jared. 6 for 100X Knight.
I think this KC Aura team might have nightmares about Jared afterwards. If he's getting this many goals this early, this is what Knight does so well against a lot of teams here. They're aggressive, they're in your face, they make you play, they play mechanics. They're just high level.
Momentum too.
And momentum as well, although momentum's not the thing that Knight's good at. It's that high level gameplay they go at. It's that aggression that they play with. Even with a sub in Rockiers who they don't have a lot of experience with. I don't know how much they played with Rockiers before today, but they don't have a lot of experience with them. Clearly, they look just the same against this KC Aura roster. There is nothing slowing them down as things go on.
I think it's kind of scary because I want you to look at this right now with Rockiers as a sub in here for the quarterfinals. We get over to semifinals. You know, we're having our doubts saying, okay, how are they going to perform against Shawnee State? It's going to be very difficult, but if we see this 100X Knight against Shawnee State over in the semifinals, I'm feeling pretty good about it. And then think about this. We get to the grand finals, 100X Knight makes it all the way. They get Manny LR back. How is that gonna look? That is my curiosity right now, if this is how they're playing already in game 1 of the night.
Rockiers wins that play, and yeah, I think the real question is going to be, what kind of night do we get to see in every single match, as it's an open net for Aura, and a big miss in front for Rex. The best chance they have had all game, and that is the epitome of game 1 so far for Aura. It has been a big swing and a miss. They have been outplayed at times, although that one is just, unfortunately, a unfortunate error in a game that has just been, well, I'm not going to say it has been good for them. It's been not even unfortunate. It's just been bad. It's been rough for this team. They have been outplayed so far, and 100X Knights are happy to keep this ball away. 10 seconds to go for Scope. Looking to send one up for Jared. Rockiers with a play up the back wall. Second touch won't go in. He was looking for the double tap, but this ball cleared away. Scope will keep it alive, but 100X Knight will take game 1. Aura clear. Rockiers, Jared both jumping in. It's Scope who keeps it up. Knight do want that last goal, but they won't get it. And they won't need it either. They're just looking for any reason to keep scoring. But it's a 6-0 game 1. That is how you come out of the gate swinging for a 100X Knight roster that that I had questions for on how they'd be playing tonight.
You know, fans at home right now are able to see over there on the scoreboard. Take a look at that. 14 shots by 100X Knight, 5 for KCG Aura. Knight had the ball 65% of the game, sitting down over on KCG's side of the pitch 60% of the time. They have just been absolutely aggressive. The offense has been oppressive. And let me tell you, if we see this 100X Knight just continue in this way, continue with this throughout this series, throughout this night, let me tell you, it might be a night. It is good night right now. So far, so good. Let's see if that momentum can continue. Let's see if they can keep up that pressure, because we still have the rest of a best of 5 series, and then more so potentially for them to go. But what a way to start. Honestly, you come out explosive and just drill that into your opponent's head. Let them understand you are here to play. You are here to be the best, to show everybody that you are the best, that no one ever was.
Yeah, that's the thing as well, and so far they've proven that they can do it. But again, Aura as a team is one that we expect them to do well against, but consistency will matter as well. Just because you've got Rockiers is not a cheat code, that's for certain for 100X Knight. They still got to make sure they perform to the way that they are expecting themselves to do so. One game down, though. definitely a step in the right direction for the best team out of the Ascend Tournament Series. Two-time champions. Only 2 teams in ATS, by the way, have ever won the league twice. Knight's one of them. The other is Evolve Skylight. Back in Season 0 and Season 1, we have not had a team win 2 championships since Season 1. So just think about that, how tough that is. And we have 5 divisions. You'd think we'd have ample chances for teams to win multiple times, but it is that tough to do so. Knight have done it twice, and they have won the last 3 tournaments. I don't think we've seen a team nearly as dominant as Knight has been in ATS history, so it really feels like if there's any time to crown the best team in all of Amateur League, I don't know if you say de facto best team, just the literal best team in Amateur Rocket League. Knight's at their point where they can do it. They're at their peak, and they're only continuing in Game 2. Jared has scored again here. He's got what? Is this his 5th goal this series? It's his 6th goal this series.
Yeah.
I can't even count them anymore. He's had that many goals, and he's still going to score more. At the end of the match, Zach, I want you to count how many goals he has, and let me know, because I'm almost certain it's going to be well into the double digits.
Double-digit Jared right now. Let's see if that comes back. He's okay. Yeah, I guess it will be. Jared, I guess it'll be up into the double digits. Look at him just swiveling his way on right pass and pop right over the top, right on in, right off the kickoff. Not even 5 seconds from the last one. So that's 2 more. Now that's let's see. 7. Okay, so yeah, double-digit Jared. I think it might come this game at this rate that he's going. Just keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen. He is raring to go. Ooh, unfortunate opportunity right there as the ball just soars right on across the front end of the goal of Knight. Again, another opportunity that might have been what KCG Aura needed. But, Sporty, I have to ask, what does KCG Aura need? How do you slow down this 100x Knight roster?
You gotta play to that level. You gotta play to that aggression, to the speed that they want you to. Simply put against Knight, if you play slow, they're going to catch you on that. They will outpace you. So you gotta play at that speed that they are asking of you. And so far for Aura, they have not been able to do that. They haven't even really been that close, but it's an open net. Oh, it's a big miss. That one was going in, and Nova shot it wide. They were able to beat Knight on that challenge, and still no goals just yet. First scope will shoot. Is it got to wait for Nova and for Aura? They've had 2 chances this entire series where they should be scoring, and they haven't scored either. At some point, you ask, is it just fate that they can't win this thing? Because they haven't scored yet, and I mean, this is not looking good for them. As an open net for First Scope. Won't be able to take this one, but he will have to play. Pop up for Jared. Will be pinched towards net. That one's kept away. Rockiers on that dribble. Challenged by Rex.
I gotta ask, at this higher end level, is it
goodness.
just something of a mental thing? Look at it just go. And right, it's Jared. Okay, so hat trick for Jared. There we go. We'll get that out of the way. Now, what we gotta ask is, those kind of blunders, I have to say, for KCG Aura, those missed opportunities, is it just a mental thing at this point with how quickly Knight has been coming at them? Is it just something where, you're making these small mistakes, you're kind of in your own head? I've seen it in the higher levels of gameplay, not specifically Rocket League, but other games where a player of a highest caliber is going to sit there and just make these little minute mistakes that you sit there at home and you're like, hey, I wouldn't do that in my games, and these guys are the ones playing on the biggest stage for the biggest title that they possibly can. It gets to you sometimes where you are confident in your skill. You're playing at this high level, and then 1, 2, 3, 6 goals later, now 3 more goals later, and making 9-0 over the course of these 2 games so far, it kind of wears away at you, where you're just like, man, what's going on, guys? Are we better than this? We are better than this, right? Let's make it happen.
The Aura definitely can play better than this. They're a team that can play close to a lot of high-level opponents, but yeah, tonight has just been you said it, I don't know if it's a mental issue, but definitely a lot of the open net misses they've had have definitely hurt this team in more ways than I think the goals against them have. They've had 2 open nets, they've missed 2 open nets throughout the course of this series, as Scope's denying Jared of a 4th goal this game. Nova will play across, but simply put, the way it's been going for those open net misses have been big hits to that mentality that they've been going for this series. They come into this series knowing they're the underdog. I mean, they know they're the underdog. This is not a question. But this has been a rough start, a rough series so far. 100x Knight are playing aggressively to them, but those open nets only make things worse. You really feel for Aura. They're just looking to get goals. Anything in the net, they'll almost get it there. It's another open net miss from Rain. KCG Aura, another big chance gone. And 100x Knight again getting away with one here. That's a 3rd open net now that Aura have not been able to score.
This is really unfortunate right now for KCG Aura, and I just think, take a moment between games, just take a step back, just pause for a moment and be like, hey, take a breath, no sweat, we got this. The score is 0-0 going into the next one. Right now it's 3-0. they're going to be down 2 in the series, but you're far from out, you know? We have a lot to go. We have a lot of games to go. 1:12 left on the board, though not a lot of this game specifically to go. It's going to be a rough uphill battle, but it's definitely going to be one that you can climb. 60 seconds now, time ticking down, ball falling down right in front of the goal of KyleG Aura. Tapped on away, Periscope looks to keep it live, though passes out over to the center. Nobody there ready to receive it. Nova instead picking it on up. Looking to transition to a little bit of offense. Right now, we need to see some life out of KyleG Aura to know that this game 3, that what's going to be coming after this is going to be a KyleG Aura worth keeping an eye on. We need to see them turning up the dial right now because it is going to turn into now or never very, very quickly. Now ticking on down to the final 30 seconds here in game number 2.
There are timeouts available in this final bracket. I really think if you're Aura, you gotta take one after this game. Simply put, as you said, mentality-wise, it has been rocky since the end of game 1. It has not gotten better here in game 2. As Knight just freestyling right now as Jared infield pass cleared away. As this one cleared back. Nova, Periscope, Jared to Periscope again. That one redirected high. Rex pushed out as Rockiers is there. Fifth resets won't have this one, but it's another win for Knight. It's another shutout for Knight. They're up 2-0 in this best of 7. They're 1 game away from match points, and this early in the series, again, I have to think if you're Aura, you gotta take that timeout now.
Gotta take that timeout now. I'm losing my mind right over here. Let me just get rid of that right now because, you know, like you said it, you take this timeout, just take a moment, take a step back, and just breathe. You know, KyleG Knight. I'm sorry, oh, man. Look at that. Mix the team names up. I'm getting so flustered right now. KyleG Aura, you have the skill. We've seen it in the past. We've seen this being a team that has a lot of potential. 6-3, better than game 1. Much better than game 1. Being an overall 3-0. 6-3 though in the shot attempts. So back closer to neutral too for who's has their hand on the ball, who's making good touches. It's closer, okay? It's nice, but how much time, how much breathing room do you have? One more match, and they're going to be at match point. And it's getting kind of shaky. KyleG Aura, they have the potential. I got blindsided by something, sorry. Yeah, they definitely have the potential to make it happen. And this 100x Knight roster, though, I can't say they're not showing any opportunities. There have been a few opportunities now for KyleG Aura. It's just been unfortunate for them to secure them. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just, you know, not on their A game today, if they, you know, didn't get enough warm up in, and now they're trying to warm up through this series. If it is a mental thing, and you know, that rally scoring throughout game 1 and game 2 ended up just kind of tearing into them. Either way, Sporty, it's game 3, 5 minutes back on the clock.
Yeah, and I think for Aura, the way that there's going to change is they didn't take a timeout here. The one thing that's going to allow this team to at least have a little bit more freedom is getting a goal. They have not scored in 2 full games of action. That is a very long time in a matchup like this to not have a goal. And Knights are not exactly going to let them let them have it easy either. They're going to try to keep them shut out for as long as possible here, as they'll be challenged by Jared. But again, for Aura, they need a goal. Simply put, for how rough this series has been for them, a goal can at least allow this team a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of the knowledge that they can play against them. But right now, it has not been that way, as Rockiers will shoot that one wide. He didn't want Jared to take a goal here. Jared's had too many goals so far. Rockiers is denying him, and KyleG Aura will look to take advantage. He will find the net. Rex scores. And not only is it the first goal for Aura this series, it's the first lead they'll take as well.
First time taking the lead, first time finding a goal. Take a look at that opportunity found, opportunity made. 100x Knight are leaving openings. It's just up to KyleG Aura to secure them, to lock those down, to actually take those shots and put one on in. And that right there was a good example, and that right there shows me that KyleG Aura are not out of this just yet. Like I said, still a lot of opportunity. Ball bouncing right across the front end of 100x Knight's goal, and it looks like they will be able to clear that one on out. Nova, though, taking it up to the wall, sees an open goal opportunity. Good job by Rockiers to get underneath it, though, tap it on up. Rex, though, keeping it live. Ball goes across, and it's range to find a second one. We're 60 seconds in. KyleG Aura have found not 1, but 2 goals, and that is a 2-goal buffer for them here in game number 3.
And Knight left their net early as well in that play. Both players ran out of boost, and both of them left. No one was left to cover it. 2 goals for Aura in the span of 67 seconds. Clearly, this has been their best game so far. They made it find another. Rockiers almost got bumped out. But for Knight, they've been taking it quite easily after how they played in game 2, and you can tell that's definitely got the better of them at times. Now they gotta really lock in and put things back together. This Aura team, they are good enough to contend with Knight. I think for Knight, they've kind of underestimated what Aura can do, and now they're really getting the KCG Aura deal. Why this team is in the top 8, why this team deserves to be in the top 8, and why you really can't take anyone for granted in this final bracket.
You can't take anyone for granted, no. You know, because even though you might be coming in here as the underdog, even in your head, you might be coming in here as the underdog. Jared, please, I'm trying to get a little bit of boost over to the other side. Jared finds a goal, 3 minutes, 12 seconds left on the clock. Okay, cool. You know, close the gap a little. You're still down, though, Jared. You're still down in this game 3. You know, you got to be careful, though, on this kickoff. You already made one kickoff goal. I'm not gonna, you know, bite my tongue too hard, but, you know, a little bit better for KCGR. But like you said, you can't count them out just yet. They are proving right now here in game number 3 that they're ready. They're able to do this. Maybe not taking the timeout was okay. We're going to find out, though. There's still 3 minutes, still plenty of time left on the clock in this game specifically. Or, well, I don't want to say for them to prove us wrong, but I will hope they prove us right.
Knight waiting, but it's a pass out to Rockiers. Nova up the back wall for Scope. Up in front of the net, Rockiers will be there. 2 players more playing up aggressively, but I like that choice because now they've got the boost. Infield pass, dropped down by Nova. No shot there from Rain. Now he's taken up by Rockiers. We'll wait on the boost pad as Rex can't put it on target. For Scope will. Wow, challenge, that's a very smart play from Perscope. Lift that ball up high, make it slow for Aura, and make them wait for the play. The more time they have to wait to make their play happen, the more time it means for Knight to recollect, reconsider things, and get themselves set on defense. Such a smart play from Perscope to go for that challenge as he did.
Takes it, runs it on through, is able to demo Rex. Ball now bouncing over the Knight side of the pitch. Picked up, though, by Nova. Taps it on over center. Ball getting to the top. Rex takes a shot, but Rockiers is there to defend it. Now, ball heading on back over to KCG Aura side of the pitch. Nova takes it up into the air, tries to clear it on now, does exactly that. Rain finds it mid-air center field. Jared tapping it on over. Rex chilling on back. He's able to catch, is able to receive, and sending it on back. Take a look at this little bit of a tennis match. We have going on back and forth. It's just passing back and forth, right in front of the goal. Bounces down, open goal, and in it goes. Periscope ends up putting it on in, evening us on out with only a minute and a half left here on the clock in game number 3.
And Periscope got that play started, that redirect up the sidewall. Caught KCG Aura completely by surprise, and then you see Rockiers with the assist infield as well. From a 2-goal deficit, Knights have responded equivalently. Now they'll look for another to lead. Rockiers, Perscope's already up. 2 players up for Knight, meaning Jared's got to stay a little bit further back here. Nova taken out of the play. Rex wins that challenge, but it will only be out for Rain. 2 touches to the back wall. For Scope, missed on it. It's open. In goes Nova. The shot is saved. What a block by Perscope. And 100x Knights survive for now. In front of the net again. Perscope won't read this one, as it's pinched off the crossbar. That one stays out. Knights thanking their lucky stars inside the final minute. It stays tied.
That was so close twice in a row right now. KCG Aura, we're seeing some life back in this team. I'm loving every moment of it. They are getting aggressive, and they're making 100x Knight understand that, yes, first two rounds, not their best. But I have to say, right now, they are proving that they're picking things on up, and they are turning up to play. This is the kind of thing we were looking for from KCG Aura. What do they need to wake up here? You know, they're kind of pulling it back now, 20 seconds to go. Time ticking down. Ball down over in KCG Aura side of the pitch. Ball tapping on over. Open goal. Taps it on up. Jared swings on back. Ball taps on down. And it goes on in. 14 seconds left. KCG Aura take the lead, ladies and gentlemen. 1 goal separates this team right now.
And Jared was expecting a fast touch too from Nova. The slow play works perfectly. And with so little time left, Knight gotta be carried away after 2 straight wins. And now they meet the reason why you don't do that to a team like Aura. Rockiers passed across. Rex is there for Scope. This play goes all the way back as Rockiers again will leave it for Jared, but nobody on the same page. KCG Aura take a win here and put the pressure on 100x Knight.
Look at that. This is what we needed. KCG Aura on the board. Now we have a series in our hands, ladies and gentlemen. I am looking forward to this one going the full distance. If this is, take a look at the momentum build right now, okay? Game number 1 was 6-0. Okay, game number 2, what would we say, like 3-0 right there? Game number 3, 3-2. Okay, KCG Aura working their way on back, building it in their favor. And now what is going to happen in game 4? If I'm 100x Knight right now, I'm going to be like, guys, they are like growing in momentum. Like what I'm saying here is they're building this momentum right now for themselves, and it is looking good. It is looking clean. I'm excited right now. Everybody at home should be excited. Let us know right now what you think right down in the chat. Say, KCG Aura, your aura's kind of showing.
They absolutely are showing up, and in an important moment as well. You have to show up for this final bracket because so much that these players are playing for, so much that these players are competing for, and so many other teams that they're going to be competing against as well. But we go to game 4. Knights don't have match point yet. You really think these things are still in their favor here, but if Aura can do what they did last game again, this whole series flips on its head, and now you're talking about Aura potentially beating Knights and, you know, sending the 2-time ATS champions out in the quarterfinals.
Definitely not the outcome I think anybody was expecting. I think even Aura was expecting, but there's still plenty of time to go. They're still down. Ladies and gentlemen, game 4 is here. 5 minutes back on the clock. Ball soars on past, and we're heading on down to a little bit of aggressive pace right now for KCG Aura, getting some offense right out of the gate here in game number 4 of our Amateur Rocket League Champions Cup number 3. This is exciting stuff right now. Rockiers takes it up to the sky. Rex picks it up, kind of tries to swat it away, but ends up losing that 50. Periscope and Jared all alone against Rain. Ball goes on pass over into the corner. Rex is able to catch it off the wall, though, and reset a little bit of this pressure. Demo from Rain onto Rockiers, picks up the ball off the wall, goes for the lineup. Rockiers coming off the respawn. Ball off the right post and soars on over into the corner. Close but no cigar. Not KCG Aura's fault, just a little bit off the mark. Ball now tapped on away by Rockiers, soars on down to the opposite side of the pitch.
Scope can't get around Rex here, and 100x Knights trying to look for that first goal. The real start of the downfall for them in game 3 was that first goal from Aura. The initial momentum that they got from that one. You know Aura wants it as badly as they wanted it last game as well. That is a major reason why they were able to take the win, was that early momentum that they could work with. Cleared back. Rockiers, 2 touches up the ceiling will be Nova up next. This one played to the side, that it is Jared. Demo. Aura's got room, but they won't find the shot. And Jared will take it away. A lot of demos from Aura so far. Putting in a new sort of aggression. Yes, yeah, putting in some new aggression here as well. And trying to do anything they can to really make life difficult for Knights.
Ball taps on down over onto the opposite side of the pitch, kind of floating around the center line. Rockiers picks it up in the air, gets it right underneath, right over the top of Rain, bouncing now over to the center side of the pitch, just a little bit higher. Jared. It's going to bounce itself on the way. Periscope waiting in the back, ready to receive it, picks it on up, looking for an opportunity, looking for how he wants to pass this instead. With a bit of a pinch off the ground, now soaring over to KCG Aura's corner. Rockiers takes it up into the air, just over the top of Jared. Unfortunate pass attempt right there. Nova now picks it up, eyeball in the goal, ends up meeting in air. Rex goes for the shot. Off the right post, 3 members of Knight, though, waiting, ready to receive, and it's going to get knocked over into the corner. Rain keeping this one active, keeping this one live, but they're just bouncing off one member of 100x Knight. It's Nova to one, Rain to another. 100x Knight ready. They're like, okay, this one ain't going anywhere. We're going to play some offense. Now slips on pass, over the top. Jared pops it on, up off the wall, and, well, she's out of there.
It will be played ahead. For Scope, Jared. Knights keep moving, as now it's an open net! And maybe the last person you want on the ball right now, if you're KCG Aura. 100x Knights, battle back, take the first goal halfway through game 4. And for Aura, if you weren't nervous before, you've got to be nervous now.
You know, I've been keeping track as instructed, and that is the double-digit mark right there. Jared has hit 10 goals tonight in this first series alone, right here in game number 4. That right there put him over the edge. That is number 10, and that is number 1 right now for 100x Knight. Exciting stuff so far, but a the pacing has definitely shifted, you can tell. Ball off the corner side. Good clear out by Nova, not allowing that setup to come into fruition. Now Rain goes for it, but Rex sends it on in. What a good direct shot. You see the open goal, and you just go for that strike. Take a look. There's Nova to center field. I thought that was going to Rain, but it was a nice little assist. Rex right off his back end of his teammate and just yeets it right on through.
Plays like that are going to give Aura the hope that they need to win this series, but it is only one goal in a tied game, still a lot more to go for here, as Knights are not going to exactly stay without a goal for very long. For Scope, pushed up the play, now getting bumped as well. You know this Knight roster is likely to get that another goal as well. That's the worry you have in your Aura. You know Knight's going to score, so you have to stay one step ahead of them here. They can get that next goal, things can be good for them, but that almost didn't happen there. For Scope hit the back post. Knight almost taking that goal for themselves as infield pass. For Scope's waiting, but it's Nova to clear. Up goes Jared. Rain forces it out, but it is still in Knight possession. For Scope, reset. This one bouncing to midfield as it's Rex again. Rockiers is waiting. He's got Rain. He's gonna play in front. Demo there, but Jared's got the block. Or I took too long and they got caught doing so.
Good attempt, though, I have to say. Getting the ball on down, making them feel pressure. The pop-up was there, but unfortunately there was nobody ready to receive. Like you said, took a little bit too long. Now 60 seconds left on the clock. 1-1, it's all tied up. This is a close one. This is a nail-biter. But Jared says, nay, my friend. It is not. Second one today. His 11th one tonight overall. And, well, now it's a 2-1 right now for 100x Knight here, ready to send themselves to match point. They are securing their victory.
2-1, 52 seconds left, and Aura facing the pressure from a miss on defense. This is a Knight roster that is going to play aggressively all throughout this game. Aura have got to find a way to get through all three defenders. Maybe those demos will be of use for them. Jared missed it! Rex, it's in! A whiff from Jared, and Rex with a second!
Look at that right there, just right on pass. Rex saw the opportunity and in she goes. Rockers was not in position to lock it down, that goal to knock it on out of there. 100x Knight now evened on up with KyleG Aura. It's a 2-2 game right here in game number 4. Rockers goes for the strike, end up Nova picking it on up, goes for the deflect. 30 seconds now, ball tapped up over the top. Rex picks it up, knocks it down, a ding off the top bar, and it gets on out of there. Able to clear that ball right on out, send it on down to KyleG Aura's side of the pitch. Now trapped on up, 3 members of Knight in the corner, waiting, eyeballing. Jared taps it up, center ball, drifts on over the top. No problem, they're able to clear this one out. 2 members of KyleG are on defense. 10 seconds to go, it's 2-2, and well, unless we get a 0-second goal floating in the air, Sporty, I think we're going to overtime right now.
But Periscope doesn't want it, that's for certain. He's got his chance, and it's immediately sent away. It will be overtime here in game number 4, as Knights and Aura continue their incredible battle. 2-2 or 3-1 will be the answer out of this series. Jared playing midfield. Periscope's waiting. And Knight will be chasing on offense first. Really not finding any room here. Aura's doing a great job of boxing them out. Now they've been demoed. It's open for Rockiers. And one big play will end the game. Knight takes match point.
I'm looking right now over at ball possession field. I'm seeing, you know, how well we've been playing both sides of the pitch, how well both teams have been playing offense, have been having control of the ball. Sporty, it's like 50-50 now, okay? This was so back and forth. This was so well done by both of these teams. 100x Knight did weasel away on top, okay, over there in overtime. Good job by Rockiers. They ended up making it happen. But this is showing me, okay, last match, I should say, showed me that Aura has the potential. Arc showing up to play. This right here shows me that we got a good series on our hands. But we are going to match point, okay? 100x Knight are 1 game away from making their way on into the semifinals. But what a series this has been so far. Honestly, with the way that Knight came out swinging in game number 1, I wasn't sure what I was going to be expecting, because I gotta say, I was expecting something completely different. I was expecting 100x Knight just steamrolling 1, 2, 3, 4, cool, no sweat, no problem. We're just going to rally score against you guys. However, this is showing me something completely different. This is showing me that this could go and will go either way.
As I just got kicked out, we're going to have to remake the lobby as well here for game number 5, but we'll get that sorted out as well. That as well. But Game 5 coming up here. Knight in a fantastic position now to go to that semifinals for a team, again, that's playing with a sub, that wants to make this as easy as possible for themselves. We'll see how things go for themselves, but we'll hopefully get things up and running again for game number 5 here. As soon as we can get that lobby remade, though, ZekVexol, as well.
Honestly, this has been a really great series so far. Don't worry, you make the lobby. This has been a great series so far from these teams. Got it? There we go.
Yeah,
All right,
good.
I have loved the KyleG aura aggression that we've been seeing, and it seems like they really come out right off the initial kickoff, get aggressive, and just start putting the pressure on 100x Knight, and that's not something we saw back in Game 1, Game 2, now Game 3 and Game 4, though it's been a completely different story. They had the liberty of scoring first in Game number 3, and to be honest, I feel like that created some momentum for them. Game 4, they didn't get the initial score, but they were able to pull it on back and show that there's going to be a good little tug of war between these two teams. Game number 5 is about to be underway, ladies and gentlemen. It is 3-1, 100x Knight leading the series. Like I say, 5 minutes on the clock. There's our opening kickoff.
Knights just need one more win to advance to the top 4 in our Champions Cup number 3. A KyleG aura battling forward for more. They know that their lives are on the line. Not only their lives, but the lives of CPL are on the line. The Cross Progression League has only one team remaining that has made it to the top 8. So for them, they want Aura to win. They need Aura to win if Cross Progression League can hope to win this tournament, as Jared will score first. Those hopes are dwindling as Knights score first again, and again it's Jared. This is what, his 11th goal this series now. He's slowed down the scoring since his first game, but he is still finding ways to put it in. 12 goals? He's been slowing down a little bit by the end of the series, but still he's scoring, and still it's causing issues for Aura.
He's slowing down. 5 in game number 1. I don't know.
That is very tough to recreate. I can't blame you.
Yeah. 5 in game 1, 3 in game 2, 1 in game 3, 2 just in this last game, and now so far 1 in the first minute here of game number 5. And be keeping that score going. See if that changes throughout the night, because we will be following the top end of the bracket, so we will be following 100x Knight if they make it over into the semifinals and then into the potential grand finals. So we'll see as the ball soars on past. Oh! Ooh! Almost soared on past, but it got deflected right at the last moment. Sorry, I even caught myself with that one because I thought Rain was about to just soar right over and put it on in.
Yeah, and for Aura, they would have loved that as well. Goal down, a flip reset goal like that to put themselves back in it. Their confidence would go sky high from that play. And Rain's had a pretty interesting series so far. Very integral to this team, just staying in the middle of the play, getting in the middle of opportunities, really doing well to play one-on-one with Knight. But unfortunately, just because you can play one-on-one with Knight does not mean you can beat the Knight roster. This is a team, first and foremost, and they know how to play like it. For Aura, 3.5 minutes now to determine if they stay in this quarterfinals for now. For Scope, denied by Rain. It's a great challenge, and it's a goal for Rex! Rock Ears got pushed, and it's an answer. Aura have tied the game.
Take a look at this one. Rock Ears ended up going over. He's like, okay, we have possession of the ball, but the ball just got stripped away from them, and Rex was able to get it right off the top, in the air, over the top, spike it right down on in, all tied up. Like you said, 3 minutes, 15 seconds left on the clock. It's 1-1. It's anyone's game. Might as well be 0-0. Ball in possession of KyleG. Aura down over in 100x Knight side of the pitch, picked up off the wall by Periscope. Now gonna hold it up in the air, get a little bit of a bump, and just tap its way on over. Rex gonna clear that out to make sure there is no open goal attempt. Rocky's waiting to receive it in the backside, though is gonna set it up. Unfortunately, all 3 members of 100x Knight in the exact same spot aren't gonna be able to have any follow-up on that one. Now a little bit of reset from both of these teams. Nova pops it on up. Soren on down over into the right corner of KyleG. Aura picked up by Rain, taps it to the center, right over the top of one member of Knight. Rex goes for the redirect, sends it over in front, and it's just going to clear its way on out. Good job by Rock Ears to get underneath that one.
Yeah, and good job for Knight to play some good defense here. They don't need to be told how good Aura is now in this series. They're taking it seriously. They're only a goal away from taking that lead, and they're only a game away from going to the semifinals, taking on another team. But KyleG Aura, again, have done very well to play to Knight's speed and aggressiveness. 2 minutes still to go. Knight still have not been able to escape things yet. Escape the quarterfinals as that one hitting wide. Infield pass for Scope. Won't shoot this one. He didn't have a good angle on that net. And instead he'll play it to an infield option. An option's himself, although it's Nova who will be there. Rockiers leaves it. Now goes Jared. He's got room to defend in front of the net. It is for Scope. Saved away. Rain will get there just in time. Another big play by the Aura player, who I think has been playing the best so far this series.
Oh, Rain without a doubt. He's been getting shot after shot. Goal, defense after defense. He's been on top of his game right now as a good floating member for KyleG Aura. I've seen him just all over this pitch, and honestly, I've been loving every minute of it. Rex holds the ball in air, taps it up over the top. Nova picks it up off the center. Okay, it's just gonna float its way on down to get picked up by 100X Knight. But Rockiers finds it, goes for the shot off the right post. Jared goes for the follow-up, goes a little bit wide though on over to the left side corner. Now Periscope circling on back as the ball sources its way over to the corner of 100X Knight side of the pitch. 60 seconds left on the clock. We're all tied up, and at this rate, we're going maybe another overtime. Jared though says no. Jared though gets denied. Okay, good double defense from KyleG Aura.
Okay, good defense overall. That one kept up by Rockiers for Scope. Leaving in the back corner as it's Rockiers again. Time winding down. Next goal likely to be the one to win it. And for Knight could tend them to a top 4 finish. For Scope, waiting on the other side as that shot from Jared will not go anywhere. Now he's got the ball and he's got some room, but he's got a Rex who's waiting right in front of him on the challenge. Rockiers and Periscope both double commit on this, so room now for Aura to attack. Rockiers keeps up that first attempt. For Scope, with a little bit of boost, just going to force this one back, as it will be Jared. Up he goes. Everybody from Aura paying attention as it's Jared on the ball. Saved away by Nova. For Scope off the corner. Rockiers to shoot. This one's kept up. It's floating in front of the net. Maybe a chance to shoot. It's saved away by Rain. For Scope can't keep it alive. Overtime in a second straight game.
That was a scary 0 second because that ball was just coasting on down in front of the goal. KyleG Aura, but Nova goes for the attempt. Good save from Rockiers, able to get behind it. Now off the backboard. Time is ticking up, ladies and gentlemen. We're in overtime here of game number 5. Rockiers in possession. Ball gets deflected almost immediately. Jared off the wall, sees 3 members of the defense. Good clear on out by Nova. Jared wanted to get that one. Rockiers catches it though and tries to keep up the pressure. Not going to be able to do so. Rex ends up winning out that pressure. Now taps it on up. It's going to fall right down over in the center unless Jared has anything to say about it. Catches it in air, goes and gains possession. Rain steals it away from him over into the corner, goes for the setup. Not gonna get it though as Rockiers is ready on the defense. He's been doing really good on defense too. That's something I've noticed even for a sub on this roster. Every time I look back, who's there for the block, who's there on the defense, Rockiers is always sitting, lurking, waiting.
Yeah, and you need that good defense in a game like this. That defense has mattered for Knights. As for Scope, will find its way through. It's Jared, and it's open, but it won't be on target. Taken out of the play as well. He won't be able to shoot. Rockiers got sideswiped by Periscope. And Knight just playing this one, but it's a great demo for Aura and room to work with as Periscope plays it. And I think the longer this game goes, the more chances that Aura's going to have to win this, and the more I think it's in their favor as well. But Knight will hold them to it here as up goes Jared. It's Nova who challenges that beautifully. Now he takes out for Scope. Won't be able to challenge Rockiers, but he won't need to. As 100X Knight now have to fall back a little bit further. Kept up in the air by Jared, though. He's got some room. Up the back wall will be Rain to clear. And it will be overtime continuing as Knight just cannot seem to break through. An impeccable defense from Aura so far in golden goal territory.
Jared goes, air dribbles it over into the corner, ends up knocking it on out. Rain, though, catching it, like you said, 2 minutes now ticking upward on the clock. Nova in front of the goal, gets demoed, ball over the top. Rex is there for the save, though. Good shot attempt by Perry, but great defense by KyleG Aura's Rex. Ball popped up, now another demo by Nova in front of the goal of KyleG Aura. Rain tries to clear it out, but Periscope is there waiting in midfield. Goes for the double tap, though, and it goes and soars right into Rain, who catches it, dropping down in front of the goal and just bounces its way on over into the corner. Right now, KyleG Aura is feeling the pressure of 100X Knight. They're not giving up any opportunities, and it gets on in. Who would have thought it's going to be Jared to put game number 5 in the bin right there? Put the series on in.
And a big goal here for Knights. They'll advance to the semifinals in a 4-1 fashion. We thought they would win this series, but this was a lot closer than I think anyone expected. Not only should credit be given to Aura for how they played, but for Knights, clearly they've had some issues here and they have to figure things out. Aura are able to really keep them at bay, and for Knights, it's going to be a very tough very tough match for them. But they are a round further in, so at least for now, things are looking okay for them. Although again, it's going to be a very tough final bracket. They're going to have to really fix things going to the semifinals because against other teams, that may not work as easily.
I gotta say, 100x Knight, they came out swinging. They were extremely aggressive. I loved every bit of it. And I was like, man, if this is going to be 100x Knight's roster tonight with a sub, if this is how they're going to be coming out, and it's just going to be this onslaught of pressure, 6 goals right away in game number 1, just rarely scoring 5 for Jared, I was kind of scared for the rest of the teams in this league, you know, in this bracket. But 100, I'm sorry, KCG Aura were showing, hey, you know, you got to work for this one, okay? We're going to wear you down, and I think they wore them down very much. I mean, just Jared alone, like we were saying, 5 goals in game number 1, then 3, then 1, then 2, and then ultimately 2 at the end, giving him 13 goals overall throughout this entire series. It's a lot of goals, but, you know, if he was on pace with that game 1, probably would have been a lot more. Instead, KCG Aura were ready. They were keeping the aggression on, and I have to say, I really loved every bit of it. And I think KCG Aura impressed me after how things started in game 1.
As you said as well, things have been going pretty well so far. It's going to be a fun time as well here, and I'm really looking forward to this one because there are some great players overall. But for now, we are getting some updates here around the league. Around the tournament. We've got at least 3 other quarterfinals has ended. Team Fortnite just beat Justice for Solo in a 4-1 series, so just waiting on the result of Shawnee State University and Strength Esports for that semifinals matchup. That'll be the next match we'll be streaming, but with how things have gone so far here, ZekVexol. No major surprises, although if Shawnee State does play, that's a team that can take down Knight. We know they can, and they're the team that's expected to play against Knight in the semifinals. I know a lot of people expect Knight to go to the grand finals, but Shawnee State, even if Knight was playing at their full roster, which they aren't tonight, I would still have them as a team that could beat them.
I mean, I could beat them, almost beat them. Took them all the way to game 6 just recently with full rosters on both sides. And I was saying at first in that last series, you know, if this is the 100x Knight we're seeing, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But KCG Aura were proving that they could whittle them down, wear them down. And in a longer series against a full roster, against Shawnee State, who made it challenging for their full roster, for Knight's full roster, I gotta say, it's going to be a nail biter, I think, and it's going to be one to keep your eyes on. And if it does happen, it's going to be happening right here on this stream. So I'm super excited to be getting into that match if it does happen. We're waiting on that last result, though, to determine who our other semifinalists is going to be, who's going to be following and playing off against Knight right here in the semifinals on the ATS stream.
Yeah, it will be, but for now, because we have to wait a little bit, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll have the semifinals for all of you as well. So 100x Knight guaranteed to have their spot, but still we'll have to wait to see who will be joining them. For now, give us a few moments. When we come back, we'll have the semifinals for you all.
Bullseye. Bullseye. Bullseye.
Welcome back to the Amateur Rocket League Champions Cup 3, where we ask and will answer the question of who's the best in the Amateur Rocket League scene. I'm SpuddyFC. Joining me here again is ZekVexol. We're into the semifinals here, and boy, what a quick quarterfinals it was. Our match actually, I think, took the longest out of any of them. 4-1 for 100x Knight, but and inside the bracket, Shawnee State sweeping Sonics Esports. We'll be seeing those two teams play next in a rematch of the Season 5 Pinnacle Cup semifinals. On the other side of the bracket, it is Team Fortnite and the Bubble Duckies, who are playing on the KRLS official stream. We're in for a great night of action, but ZekVexol, we just saw an incredible series with 100x Knight versus KyleG Aura, but Knight looking a bit shaky here. If there's any time for a team like Shawnee State, who already has the capabilities of beating Knight, to beat Knight, this would be their time to do it.
Yeah, in case you guys missed that last series, 100x Knight came out swinging and they looked dominant. Okay, a 6-0, 5 for Jared in game number 1. But I have to say, things teetered on off. If you did miss this series, definitely go back and watch it. But obviously, after you watch this series, after you watch the next one, after you finish this tournament tonight, go back and make sure you check that one out because it was a great series to watch. But 100x Knight 35 versus Shawnee State. This is what I've been looking forward to. Okay, these two teams faced off over in the Pinnacle Cup semifinals, and it was one of my favorite matches of that tournament. This is a grudge match, Sporty. This is a revenge match, and I want to know if Shawnee State is going to come up. Are they going to turn the tables on 100x Knight and just come back, bite back, and take the victory out from underneath them? They showed already in their quarterfinals matchup that they are raring to go 4-0 against Serenix Esports. Okay, they're looking pretty good, and I gotta say, is that momentum going to continue right here in the semifinals? They have their roster, and Knight has a sub.
Yeah, that's the big difference here. Knight's got a sub, and they didn't look amazing as good in the quarterfinals as they do with their normal team. So that's the question. Can Shawnee State finally take down the team that took them down in last season's tournament? Reminder, Shawnee State last season went undefeated. They went undefeated in ATS Season 5. They didn't lose until that semifinals against Knight, that fated matchup. This feels like a team that wants it back for themselves, wants to get back for it as well. As we'll get things started in just a few moments here. Seems like Knight have not shown up just yet. They might be getting... I don't know what they're doing. They might be...
There we go. They're joining.
They're joining? Perfect. I was going to say,
Yes.
I don't know. I know for a fact they're still playing with their sub and rock ears for this matchup, so... We'll get things underway here for both these teams, and we'll get this best of 7 started. 100x Knight taking on Shawnee State University, a rematch of the semifinals. And you said it, a grudge match for Shawnee State. They lost them in the semifinals, and many consider them the team to win that whole thing. You really feel like if they have anyone that they want to beat more than anything else in this bracket, it's the team that took them down in their last tournament.
Oh, I have 100%, like, you have a target on your back, okay? I said this tonight when we were in the interview post-game. I told them, like, you guys are coming in. They talked about how they were going to be coming back with their same roster, again, keeping the same group, 3 seasons, you know, strong, hoping for that three-peat. And I said, hey, you know, you win it once, that's cool. You win it twice, congratulations, you are priority target number 1. You have a marker on your back, and teams are going to be gunning for you. And I don't think there's a team who's going to be gunning for you more than Shawnee State, okay? And especially so recently in their minds was that semifinals matchup, and now this semifinals matchup, you bet your butt, I'm gonna say nicely, you bet your butt, they are coming, and they are gonna be coming out swinging. They want to make sure they take you down, and I gotta say, there will be some beef in some general chats and Discord later if it does go that way.
There won't be any beef if Shawnee State wins, that's for certain, but you'll know they'll be feeling pretty good about it. They're a pretty nice team, from what I know. I know you talk about the beef. It's a respectful beef, I'll say that. How about that? When we're both these teams, I think they have a lot of respect for each other because they know how good each side is, and all these players know each other quite well. All these players are very high ranked, all these players are very, very good, and all these players know each other in one way or another. Even Rockers, as that sub for Knight, I'm sure he's definitely known to the rest of Shawnee State, but this is a tough match to begin with, and Knight's got to be careful. Shawnee State's got some offense here, but will be cleared away, and 100x Knight not nearly as aggressive as they were the last time they played Shawnee State, and that is likely going to be the case in this semifinals. They aren't going to be able to play, they aren't going to be able to stay as aggressive as they were before. They've got to play a little bit more measured and a little bit more tactical when they have Rockers, who is more defensive than Manny Alar, who he's replacing.
I kind of want to see Rockers switch a little bit to a more offensive position, okay? From what I saw back in that last series, and I'm saying this from my overhead point of view and my extreme amounts of Rocket League knowledge, I want to see Rockers be a little bit more on the offense side of things and have someone else switch to that defensive position. I know it's going to be a little uncomfortable, but Rockers was leaving a few openings that we ended up seeing against KCG Aura, and it was very fortunate throughout a lot of those games that KCG wasn't able to take advantage of those, wasn't able to lock those down. I feel like Shawnee State definitely will if those openings are made. Those same openings, if you just put them in the one-to-one scenario right now against this team, congratulations, I think they're going to be starting to rally the score against you. So what do? Do you switch up your style a little bit, or do you need to play a more aggressive offense? Either way, a more aggressive offense means a more open defense. I'm a little bit worried, but we'll see if that ends up coming to fruition. Jared going for the downfield dribble on in, but was able to get that save. Taco Stash chill and wait and get behind it and block that one away.
That's an open net here. Bumped into it as Rockers, and it will be pinched wide. And yeah, you mentioned as well, Aura. The big reason why we didn't talk too much about Knight's defensive issues last game was because Aura didn't take them. They didn't score on those plays, and they missed more than they should have. Shawnee State's not going to do that in this matchup. You know they're not going to miss those same chances. You know they're going to be even better at scoring in the plays that they do have here than or it was last series. So for Knights, I would be a little bit nervous if I was them. You don't get Manny Alar, you don't get the player who I think was their best player yesterday. You've got to make do with Rockiers, and you got to make do with knowing that your defense wasn't at its best last series. Open plays will help them.
I don't think it's any fault to Rockiers, you know, it just shows the synergy between the 3 core players on this roster and how well they play together. So, you know, it's kind of difficult to just pick up this piece and just drop it on in here, you know. It's not an instrument in a band, you know, it's not a guitar, it's not like a trumpet, whatever it may be. You can't just pick up, replace, and, you know, go on about business. No, this is a team player, and Slayer is going to show that he is the player right now for Shawnee State. Puts the first one on in, a minute and a half to go. Shawnee State take the lead.
Well, for a second straight series in a row, Jared has found the first goal. Unfortunately, this one is on the wrong net. But Shawnee State will score first. 100X Knights. I don't mind how they started, but it is a very measured approach here. And you can tell Shawnee State just waiting patiently right now. We're trying to analyze. They don't know this version of 100X Knight that well. They didn't play against this team back in the semifinals. They didn't play against this team back in the championship. And they're going to have to get used to them here as a playoff for Crestbar for Scope. That one won by Slayer. It's adverse! And a 2-0 lead for Shawnee State University.
When it rains, it pours. Shawnee State already, like I said, there's the opening right there, and look at how quickly Adverse just boosted up into the air, gone, spiked that down on in, and put it away. A 60-second difference between them right now and Shawnee State walking away with game number 1. This has to be a little bit of a switch out on the 100X Knight. I need to say, there are some openings. We need to figure out how we're going to clear them up. A ding, and now Taco Stash has one. One for Adverse, one for Slayer, one for Taco Stash. 3 Shawnee State here in game 1 to 0 for 100X Knight.
And Knights getting the treatment that they got back, that they gave out to all the teams in the regular season of this season 5. It's that aggression, it's that high-scoring offense, and it is 100X Knight who really do look so unlike themselves. And again, you can tell that rotation is really the culprit right now for them. They just don't know how to rotate around each other. When you're playing with someone new, it can make things so tough as Rockiers is there. Left for Scope. Up is Jared. We'll get around 1 as here goes Rockiers, stuck by Adverse. And for 100X Knight, you can tell they are not so used to Rockiers. It is a lot more different with Rockiers, a lot more defensive, a lot more passive, and a lot less like 100X Knight.
20 seconds left on the clock, ball floating around the midline, 3-0. We're about to head on over into our break, because I gotta say, this game 1 seems like it's kind of in the bin. Rockiers able to find one to kind of ease the pain a little bit, but 12 seconds to go, 2 scores separate this team. I gotta say, Shawnee State right now are showing that, yes, this is our revenge match. We will be taking it happily.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they want this series to be. 3-1 for now, but with 12 seconds left, I mean, if Knight's going to come back, it's going to take everything from them to do that. And this kickoff will not exactly help them. Adverse to clear. And that will end game 1. Shawnee State University start in the lead against their most hated foes in the regular season, in the playoffs of ATS Season 5. And with game 1 under the bag, they now know they've got what it takes to take down Knight and get the revenge. And what would be the first time that Knight would ever lose in a tournament since ATS Season 4. So for Shawnee State, they could do something that a lot of other teams just have not been able to do for a good couple months at this point.
You know, and you knew, at least we all at home and here at the desk knew that this was going to be a difficult game for 100X Knight. This is going to be a difficult series. Shawnee State are saying, yes, we are going to, one-up you. We are going to meet those expectations. We will be the nail in the coffin. We will be the thorn in your side. I have to say, and I'm going to double down on what I said a little bit earlier on in this game alone, I think Rockiers needs to be switching into more of an aggressive position. Keep Perry back a little bit. Keep Periscope back a little bit to play more on that defensive side. But you have to keep Jared on that offense position. He has been the goal leader right now for 100X Knight tonight and throughout the course that we've known this team. Keep him in that offensive position, the aggressive position, but bring up Rockiers, bring Periscope back, okay? There needs to be a rotation in how you play. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but I gotta say, it might be what they need in order to minimize the amount of openings that are being created.
Yeah, they've got to at least find that aggression against Shawnee State. They're not going to win without it. That's what this team wants to do, and that's what this team is good at, and it's what this team can't do right now with how far back they're playing. So Shawnee State, they've taken game 1, but as the series continues, we go into game 2, and Onyx Knights looking to redeem themselves from what was a lackluster start to this semifinals. His adverse to the corner will be played up by Taco Stash. Rockiers up the ceiling, Taco Stash to clear. Jared keeps it up high. Adverse is there, but it will be cleared away. For Scope has been bumped as here goes Rockiers. Slayer, the last one back. Rockiers on and out the crossbar. Jared won't win it either. And Knights have got to go all the way back to defense. What a chance and what a wasted opportunity.
Good opportunity, but like you said, unfortunate that the outcome was what it was, but it's good. This is what I want to see. I want to see Rockiers a little bit more on the offense. They're doing just that right now. Ball over in the corner of Shawnee State. Tipping off onto the side. Periscope picks it up, taps it on over to the center. Rockiers goes to meet it. Just going to keep the ball in play. Just going to make sure that Shawnee State doesn't get the opportunity to switch things up, to put them on the defensive side, and this is good too. If you can keep this ball down here, then you can keep the aggression on Shawnee State. And you're not playing defense. You're not having to worry about those kind of openings. Ball now tipping on over off the left side, just gonna bounce its way on out. Jared tries to get underneath it, ends up demoing Taco Stash. Ball floating around the center of the pitch. Rockiers picks it up in midair, air dribbles it on down, goes, taps it off the back, and Slayer's there waiting, ready to receive. No threat right there of that one getting into the goal. 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Jared picks it up off the wall, sends it over the top, and we're heading a little bit of offense for Hunter Lakes Knight.
I think the big comparison this series that I've been thinking about in my mind, that I've been making so far, is Slayer versus Rockiers. Both these players playing that more defensive kind of position where they're sitting further back than their teammates are. You're seeing a lot of that, but you're seeing a major difference with the way these team players are doing it. Simply put, for Slayer, he's utilizing his teammates. Rockiers doesn't know them that well, and you can see the difference here on those rotations as playing off the back wall will be adverse, saved by Rockiers, as no boost for Knights. Rockiers bumped out the way, as it's Jared who will win the play versus Taco Stash. Adverse. Light tap will be challenged by Perscope. Rockiers. Jared challenged by Slayer. Rockiers again for Scope towards the net. Taco Stash is there and he will not let him shoot. Still no goals halfway through the game, but Hunter Lakes Knight looking to brew something magical as we keep the play going.
Lakes Knight looking for a play, but immediately now ball soaring on down. Rockiers catches it off the wall, wanting to keep up the aggression. Adverse goes for a shot from midfield. A little bit high, and Jared gets underneath it as well. Slayer keeping it in play, though. Ball right in front of the goal, and it just teeters off to the side, but Adverse is there for the follow-up. There's the first one on the board. Half of this game time has expired, but Shawnee State have taken the lead once more.
And another goal for Shawnee State, another big lead for Shawnee State, and another play that will favor them oh so much in a series where revenge is what they're looking for. The ball's in their court, the play's in their favor. And what now? The question is, what will they do with it? As this one for Rockiers. The reset. Adverse is there. This one kept high. Jared with a boost. He'll leave it up for teammates, but Adverse is there again. Hunter Lakes Knights play to the midfield. Jared's already up. Double tap. Oh my goodness! Jared goes sky high, and Knights are back in it.
Jared says, I am the storm that is approaching. Take a look at that. Double spike down on and in. 1-1 now, 2 minutes left to go. Now Jared being, again, the same one, the only one so far in this series to score for Hunter Lakes Knight. Keeping up the action, keeping up the pace, but there's still, you got some ground to cover. Jared taps over the top, hits off the backboard, and it just taps it right on away. Taco Stash now going for some aggression off the backboard to Adverse to end. 2-1. Shawnee State, another one on the board for Shawnee State. They take the lead once more.
And every goal they get is another big win against Knights. Every goal they get, another step closer to the grand finals, to cutting themselves as the best in Amateur Rocket League. But they are still over 90 seconds away, and no matter how many cool goals Knight will have, no matter how many good plays Jared can cook up, this Knight roster is not going to win unless everybody gets involved. Here goes Perscope, putting a test on Slayer. He didn't make a good touch here. Jared can't score from that distance. Adverse will look to keep it away here. We got a little bit of a headlock here. We'll see if these players look to keep it, but momentary 2v2 in the Amateur Rocket League Championship, and Knight almost had that one. Rockiers plays this ball. Adverse. Perscope will leave this one away. Now goes Adverse again. Perscope on a challenge. Rockiers has the boost, has the aerial dominance, but he won't have the shot. 1 minute left here. Knights Under pressure, they missed it! 3-1 for Shawnee State.
I think it's really unfortunate that the person who is locked down is Jared, okay? And he trapped over into the corner that entire time. Taco Stash is able to find the open goal, put it on in 60 seconds ago. Now 2-goal lead for Shawnee State. It's just so unfortunate when you're in that kind of instance. Funny thing too, Slayer was trying to break it right out of the gate, went for a little bit of a jump, but then ended up getting stuck down. Jared kept him locked down right there. 50 seconds now left on the clock. All players free. Back to the 3v3 instance, but a 2-goal difference between these two teams. 100 Knight have some ground to cover. They can do it. They have done it. They can do it again easily. Jared picks it up off the wall over the center, but gets deflected by Adverse and sent on down to the opposite side of the pitch. Picked up by Adverse. Goes, tries to send it over. Gets past Taco Stash. Now over to the corner. 30 seconds left to go. Time ticking down for 100X Knight here in game number 2. Shawnee State ready to take the series 2-0.
They're ready to take a major lead as well, but for Scope, not looking to let them have it for free! Oh, that's a bullet of a shot, and it's in the top right corner. Knights have 17 seconds left to make something happen here, to make this game happen, and to go to overtime.
A nail-biter. This is going to be close, okay? They can do it. They did it off kickoff just in the last game. It's going to come down to their positioning. It's going to come down to how well they can get this ball away. Jared ends up stripping on pass. Goes off the right side into the corner, into the air. Periscope goes, taps it on down. Rockiers is ready to receive it. Just goes for a little bit of a bump. Slayer now catches it in midair. Ball is soaring on down, soaring on across. Jared ends up tapping it on up. Over to the opposite side of the pitch in front of the goal of 100X Knight. Up the wall. There's the touchdown. Shawnee State, ladies and gentlemen, lead the series 2-0.
Shawnee State, on their revenge tour, are now only 2 wins away. And Shawnee State knows they've got it all, at least for now, handled. But man, things for 100X Knight staying close, but close will not do it for them here. This has not been the series they wanted. Now down 0-2. You really think here, Zek, that they got to win this next game, or else I don't see them coming back in a reverse sweep.
Do you take the time out now? Do you just take a moment? You know,
I mean, I would personally if I was Knight, but what I will say is, Knight's under a lot of pressure here. And to be fair, I don't know how much time that's going to help them with how little these players know of each other. I think what's going to help them out more is, doing whatever they can to try to adapt to Shawnee State and just try to find some clutch plays and really find offense. They've not had enough offense this series and enough consistent offense. They have had a lot of issues against Shawnee State. Rockers especially has definitely been sort of like out of position a lot. They got to find a way to kind of keep the offense going and really find more plays against them, because without enough offense, without enough plays, they're not going to find wins. And I mean, we know how good Shawnee State is. They will keep this team at bay for as long as they need to get this win.
And it's difficult too. We've been talking, Rockiers is coming in. He is a sub. He's not used to them. They're not used to him. They got to make the adaptations that need to happen in order to pull this one on out. 5 minutes back on the clock, ladies and gentlemen, heading on into game number 3. Shawnee State leading the charge 2-0 in the series so far. Haven't dropped a single game, and they want to keep that one going. How do we get 100X Knight onto offense? I think they came out pretty decently in that last game, but still it wasn't able to amount to a whole lot. Shawnee State was able to strip it away. They were able to get a score up on them, and things kind of just fumbled a little bit out of control after that, and then it just spiraled into, okay, wherever you end up. Now, out ball going and tapping on over. Rockiers is able to find the opening goal. Look at that, not even 30 seconds in, he was able to just pop it on up, and he's like, okay, cool, ball's gonna float right over my head. Don't mind if I do. Up and on in it goes. Slayer tries to defend it, but is unable to do so. But hey, 100X Knight, first time this series, are the first ones on the board.
And a big first goal as well for them here in this game 3. I think this is a game, again, as I said, this is a game I think they need to win, and it's a big mistake! Oh, it is an immediate answer for Adverse. Unfortunately, that's not a goal that Adverse made happen. Jared, that is a big misread, and Adverse knows it.
You leave those kind of opportunities open, and it's just going to go on, down, and in. We've been boosting Jared up throughout this first series and a little bit into this one as well. But unfortunately, that's a second mistake like that. You can't allow those kind of mistakes to happen, because a team like Shawnee State will take advantage of it. Hell, a team like 100X Knight will take advantage of it as well. You have great players on both sides, and all these teams so far who made it into this top 8. Jared tapping it on down. almost going for, but Slayer is there on the defense. But you have these teams who will take advantage of those opportunities. I mean, I said it before we even got into the first series, 40, okay? You leave a moment of an opportunity, a fraction, a sliver, a hair, whatever it may be. There's an opening, there is a hole. We will take advantage of it. We will go for the quick strike, and it will come very quickly. Shawnee State, I mean, we saw it live in 4K a little bit earlier with a blunder that ended up happening, and we saw Adverse immediately boost up into the air and just spike it down on and in. You leave that opening, it will get taken.
Yeah, and again, against Aura, that wasn't a major issue for them. Aura didn't take advantage of the opportunities Shawnee State have, and they will continue to do so here as long as the series keeps moving, and Knight knows that well. As they play up the sidewall, Adverse, Slayer, oh, it's gonna bounce across the goal line, and it stays out of the net. For Scope next will pinch this one to safety. Jared will chase this one down, and he's got room. He's done it before. He'll look for it again. Off the back wall, Taco Stash. Bump on Rockiers will leave a lot of room for Adverse. Back wall, double, across the goal. Jared is waiting. And Knights will try to take this one back as it's Rockiers again. Adverse for Scope. Played to Jared, played up for Rockiers, shot is saved! Taco Stash is waiting, and Knights can't challenge, they don't have boost. This game stays tied, Knights got chances, but they aren't good enough. In front of the net, saved away by Perscope.
Perscope clearing that one on out of there now again, finding it off the wall. Adverse head control, not anymore. Jared goes for it and goes to try to gain control himself. Taco Stash taps it on up. Adverse ready to receive, ready to create some action. Perscope circling on behind. It's underneath it, but Taco Stash taps it off over instead. Jared catches it over to the corner. Slayer goes for a little bit of a setup himself, but it's just kind of going back and forth across the goal line of 100X Knight, now tapping down in front of it, but Jared is able to get it and swat it on out of there. Good clear from Jared of 100X Knight. Adverse, though, keeping up the pressure. Taco Stash to the backboard, down on in. A double tap is there. Rockiers keeps it up, and Slayer goes and puts it on in. That is an unfortunate mistake right now for 100X Knight.
Yep, it's just been mistakes that cost him, and unfortunately Rockiers, he's been the culprit a couple times so far this series. Outplayed and outpushed, and unfortunately out of position. Shawnee State, that will give him the lead in Game 3 as Knights desperate to find a goal, desperate to find a second, and to keep this game going, to give themselves any hope that they can stay in the semifinals. For Scope, leaves it. Jared saved away, and here goes Rockiers. Slayer was waiting, and he'll get the block out. Adverse with boost. Rockiers with the touch, but it's straight back to Slayer. Taken out of the play, but it is Knights who have to watch as this one is on target. Saved by Jared as he'll get by two. Rockiers. Oh, what a great challenge from Taco Stash. As it's per Scope. Adverse. Rockiers. Taco Stash with some time, and it is Jared again who's been taking that mantle as the more defensive type player, but at this point for Knights, defense doesn't matter. They've got to get a goal. Time's running low for them.
60 seconds, time's running low indeed. It's 1-2. It's only a one-goal series, but one-goal game that separates these two teams. They made it happen a little bit back in that last one. They were able to find a close goal in the last 60 seconds, but they needed two in that one. This time they only need one in order to tie it on up to take us into overtime, at least with three members of Shawnee State chill it in and around the goal. They just have to play defense. All they gotta do is coast this one on out to find themselves in match point of the semifinals. Rockiers goes, taps it on over, a little bit high, but Slayer's there nonetheless. Perscope tries to circle on around, tries to keep up the pressure, unable to do so. 30 seconds now, time ticking down. Taco Stash taps it on over, off to the backboard. Perscope waiting, ready to receive it in defense. Ends up meeting Adverse, wins the challenge. Taco Stash tries to keep up the aggression. Ball coasts across, 15 seconds to go. Time ticking down here in game number 3. Slayer goes for the shot. Perscope off the top post. Slayer puts it on in. 10 seconds left on the clock, and it's 3-1 for Shawnee State University.
Does this give them quadruple match points? The revenge tour continues, and it looks like it will be complete, but for Shawnee State, quadruple match points in their hands. 10 seconds to go. Knights will run out of time. Game 3 goes to Shawnee State, another game that is just out of the clutches of Knights. And for the two-time ATS League champions, they're at risk of losing in the semifinals to a team that has wanted to beat them ever since they lost to them in the last semifinals they played.
This is a grudge match. We knew it coming into this. This was going to be the hardest matchup for 100x Knight. It was going to be difficult. We were talking about this, predicting this back before before we even started our first match. We're looking at the bracket and we're like, hey, you know, if it does get to the semifinals, if this is a 100x Knight versus Shawnee State semifinals, it's not going to be a pretty one. It is going to be probably the toughest challenge 100x Knight has faced in a long time, being the fact that Shawnee State, back in the semifinals of the Pinnacle Cup, was the hardest challenge that they probably faced in a long time. This is a good roster. This is a good team. I'm loving every minute of it. I'm loving to see that Shawnee State are coming out with a vengeance. They want this. They're going to make it happen. And right now they are on the exact path that they need in order to make it happen. One game, Sporty, separates this team from moving on to the grand finals to fight for that top prize. And let me tell you, they are looking good to make it happen.
They are looking very, very good to make things happen here. One win away here in a 100x Knight team that looks wounded beyond belief. This 100x Knight team, the last time they lost in a tournament was back in, I believe, Paradise Cup 2, before even the current iteration of their roster. That was a completely different roster. The only player that was on that team back then was Perscope. That was the last time this team has lost in an ATS tournament. Since then, boy, things have been good for them, and things have been extremely successful for them. But this semi-finals may just be the end of their tournament in the Champions Cup. Shawnee State University are one game away, one win away from doing what we thought could not happen here and silencing the Dynasty of Knights in the Rocket League Champions Cup 3.
Kick-off underway, game number 4, match point, ladies and gentlemen, for Shawnee State University. If you are a 100x Knight fan, start shouting them out, let them know you are here to support them, and I hope some of you are, you know, good cleaners at home. You can head over to your broom closet and get this broom ready, because hopefully 100x Knight, hopefully and most certainly, they need to sweep right now 100 Shawnee State. They need to make this happen. It is a long haul, a long journey. There is a mountain to climb, in the mountain standing before them are the Shawnee State University Bears. These guys are being relentless, and I'm loving every minute of it. But 100x Knight is showing that there is potential that they can make stuff happen. They've gotten some goals. They haven't been completely blown out, I have to say. They've been showing some decent offense, but it's not the offense that they need in order to make this happen. Not the defense that they need to make it happen either. Ball heading on down over into Knight side of the pitch. Taco Stash looks to pick it on up, gets swatted on out of there. Periscope facing off in the 1v2. Ball ends up going a little bit high, unable to keep that one into play. Rocky is trying to do his best to get behind the ball right now, soaring on down back over to their side of the pitch, up into the air, ends up meeting Adverse, who challenged it. Taco Stash strips it on away, goes for the tap out over the top, and Rockiers pops it on up, denying the setup. Taco Stash, though, keeping it in play. Over to Adverse, never mind, it's there! Goes for the shot to the top bar, but her scope is there to deny it.
100x Knight waits. No goals yet, but a lot of defense so far for the team that is expected to be the favorites in this final bracket. Shawnee State waiting patiently as Knights keep the pressure going. For Scope now. Demoed out of the play by Taco Stash. Adverse bumped out by Rockiers, and now he'll go for the redirect. A very slow launch, but he's got the play. Jared hits it wide, and he won't get another chance either, as this one sent to the other corner of the field. Rockiers can't make anything happen. For Scope will push this one back, but only delay the inevitable. Shawnee State is back on offense again, and now they've got a net. Scope is there. He'll keep this one out, but 100x Knight playing with fire, with their defense being in all sorts of disarray.
Good stop right there from Taco Stash. That ball about to get pinched on in. Good defense coming in from Shawnee State University. Still, though, having to play a little bit more defense. Perscope and Jared together off the wall. Jared goes to try to set up Adverse, though. Is going to knock it on away. Perscope keeping it in action. Slayer now circling around underneath it and getting it. Jared goes to the opposite side of the pitch. Taps it on over. Pass 1, pass 2. Looks for Adverse. Gets past, never mind. Adverse ends going to swat it away. Rockiers for the setup. Goes off the top board. Goes for the double tap. And it just goes a little bit wide. A little bit unfortunate. Jared keeps it up. Off the backboard. Off the right side, not able to get it either. We're so close right now for 100x Knight. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. Still 0-0. Rockiers in the air. Gets denied. Taco Stash gets demoed by Jared. Ball just floats its way right on across Adverse, picking it up and dribbling it back on down for a little bit of offense themselves.
Knights and Shawnee State. It's been the longest amount of time, I think, in any of our games where we have not had a goal here, but Knight might be barreling down in front of one. Taco Stash with a lovely touch. Knight again, still up very high. It's that aggression that you were talking about that they need to bring. It's here. but it has not been able to break through. Rockiers takes out one. Taco Stash is waiting. Perscope leaves it. Rockiers now one-on-one with Slayer. Will leave this one for Jared. Adverse wins it, and it's a race to the net. Shawnee State lead inside the final 90 seconds.
I've been very impressed with Adverse's reading of the situation. Look at how quickly right there he's like, that's open, that's mine, goes for it. This is the second time I can say this series guaranteed that I've physically seen Adverse do that, and I can call him out for doing that. Really great read by Adverse, able to put Shawnee State on the board here in game number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, Shawnee State University 1-0 right now in their match point. They are lined up to make this happen, to make their way to the grand finals, to knock 100X Knight on out of here in this tournament.
Rockiers, 1 minute left. Flip reset to Perscope. Jared to keep it alive. Knight infield won't be taken as Perscope didn't see any options played midfield. Perscope does. Up goes Jared. That's a great touch for Adverse and one that Jared can't really challenge. Rockiers, Jared just looking for a teammate. Perscope is out of the play here. Jared's got to go again. Rockiers to shoot this one. Taco Stash is waiting. And Shawnee State now only 30 seconds away. Jared again with a flip reset. Doesn't have it. Rockiers! And it's kept up by Adverse. 30 seconds. Pushed ahead is Slayer. Jared, Perscope. Knight is just chasing, but the ball cleared away. And that means for Shawnee State a little bit of time to talk.
Little bit time, 10 seconds to go. We're down over at Shawnee State's side of the pitch. It's getting close. Ball touching down on over. 100X Knight need to get this up. It's got to be a 0-seconder, but it's off on their side of the pitch. Periscope pops it on up. Jared finds it in the air. It's going on down. A spike on down. Ladies and gentlemen, Shawnee State 4-0. Knock out 100X Knight from the tournament and find themselves in the grand finals.
And a 4-0 sweep here. The two-time champions eliminated in the semifinals. The revenge does come, and it comes oh so sweet in a 4-0 sweep. Shawnee State have been living for this moment, have been wanting this moment. Now they get it, and you gotta believe they absolutely deserve every bit of it.
They definitely deserve it. I mean, they came out swinging back over in the semifinals, over in the Pinnacle Cup. They're coming out swinging here as well. They're proving that they want to make this happen, and they're definitely going to make this happen. Because I have to say, Shawnee State, I'll say it again, we knew this was going to be nice. Most difficult matchup, and they show exactly that. And now moving on into the grand finals, I gotta say, they gotta be feeling pretty good about that one after the recent, well, Pinnacle Cup semifinals. To be able to knock out 100, it's a good feeling, and I'm glad we have some, good teams here that there isn't going to be any beef in the chat, some friendly banter maybe, but no beef nonetheless. So that's really awesome that they're going to be able to talk to each other, maybe a little bit of high five over in the general chats and let them know, hey, honestly, that was a hard fought game. And I have to say, for 100X Knight, I want this to be I don't want to say like a learning thing, but a kind of, we can take a step back and look at it as, okay, maybe we need to work with some subs every now and then to get a good idea of, if a situation like this comes up, do we have somebody who we can fill into the spot that is missing, or in each spot that is missing, in order to make this happen, someone who can play the role that we need so desperately. Because I think that's something that I can see very much. I think there's a lot of potential with Rockiers. I'd love to see his future and see if he comes and if we see him again on the 100X Knight roster, or maybe even somewhere else, because I gotta say there's potential there. It's just gonna be how he gets cultivated.
It really will come down to that. It says, do we have an update on the other side? We do have an update on the other side of the bracket now, so let's take a look at what our grand finals will be. The Bubble Duckies also winning in a 4-0 sweep, so a major victory for them. So Bubble Duckies will continue their tournament run here. That is, I believe that's Bluey's team. A team that actually played Knight yesterday and could not get the win. Now they play today to take on Shawnee State University, who also, again, also had a tough time as well, but were able to win out their group. We're in for a great grand finals here. Before we go to a break, our last break of the evening, to prepare for the grand finals, is there anything else you want to say while we kind of get things set up and ready to go?
Shawnee State, I can't say they surprised me. I think they did exactly what they needed to, and they looked clinical. If they can keep their composure, if they can refine some of the I guess I can't even say refine some of the rough edges. There weren't a whole lot of rough edges because I gotta say it looked really good. If they can just refine the little things though, this is going to be a difficult one. This is going to be a very good back and forth match because I know from what I've been kind of keeping tabs on from the other match, the Bubble Duckies, they are proven that they are ready to rally score if the opportunity is available to them. And, you know, so is Shawnee State. We saw Adverse specifically, I called his name out a few times during that series, is quick on the read to notice those kind of holes, those kind of opportunities. And it looks like Bubble Duckies are going to be able to do the exact same. This is going to be a good head-to-head matchup that you got to make sure you stick around and watch.
We'll see you guys soon. The grand finals, the crown, who the best in all of Amateur Rocket League is up next. The question remains, but the answers are soon to be here. Who is the best in Amateur Rocket League? And tonight, and in one more series, we will find out. So far this evening, we've been seeing teams from the from ATS and CPL. Now KRLS joins the stream. They've had their own fun on their own side of the bracket here, ZekVexol. And now we finally get to see who really is going to be the best in the grand final. Shawnee State University versus the Bubble Duckies. Who could ask for any better match here in our final match of the Champions Cup number 3?
4 O's, 4 O's, 4 O's all the way for these two teams, and it shows that this is going to be a good one, an electric one. And honestly, even Shawnee State University going 4-0 against a team like 100x Night, granted they had us up, still I think is a great feat as well. So it's just proving that this team, I mean, we watched it just recently on the stream. It is it's gonna be a good one. I mean, I think they're ready to rise to the challenge. It's gonna come down to that consistency and how well they can find those opportunities, down on in. Bubble Duckies, we didn't have the liberty of seeing them here on this stream, but judging from what I did gather information wise, they were looking for those opportunities. Well, they were ready to rally score against their opposition given the opportunity. I think even against Team Fortnite in the earlier stages, in the earlier games, they were absolutely just shoving it down their throats. And I mean, they found the opportunities, they took them, they scoring left and right. I'm watching the score just go on up. It's exciting stuff, and I'm expecting an exciting back and forth matchup between these two teams. I'm wondering who's gonna bring it, and who at home, who do you have? Who do you think is gonna be bringing it to the table? Who do you want to see win tonight, become your grand champion of the Amateur Rocket League Champions Cup 3? This is exciting stuff. We got Shawnee State University and Bubble Duckies. Sporty, walk us through these rosters.
Yeah, of course, as we won't be taking too much long here, but I think what's interesting is the seeding here. Shawnee State is ATS seed number 2. The Bubble Duckies are KRLS seed number 3. So it shows you that even if you maybe aren't the highest seed, this tournament allows teams who maybe didn't win to have their chance to prove that they really are the best team. In not only their own respective league, but in all of Amateur Rocket League here. $150 as well, up for grabs, split between the top 2 teams. So, ZekVexol, we've come to a grand finals with a lot of good players and a lot of tough competition, and we've come down to the moment that everyone has been waiting for. One more series, one more match to determine it. We've been waiting, we've been asking the question all night, and I've been asking it every single time we've gone to a match. Who is the best in Amateur Rocket League? One more series, one more best of 7, one more match to find out. Let's get things going, let's hit the road, and let's roll. Those Shawnee State University Bears and the Bubble Duckies. This is it. No more waiting. Here's what you've all been waiting for.
Absolutely. It's time to get on into the action. It's grand finals time here, ladies and gentlemen. Best of 7. Lots of time to go to find out who is going to be crowned your grand champion here of the Amateur Rocket League Champions Cup. This is electric action. A lot of back and forth so far. And I mean, who's going to find the first opportunity is what is going to be my big question. Adverse takes it up into the air, soars on down, gets swatted away by Bluey, picked up by Slayer in the air. Just some good little volley. Honestly, these teams in the first game probably going to feel each other out, because when was the last time, if ever, that they really played each other before? Do you have an idea?
Well, I don't know if these teams have ever played each other before, but
yeah,
what I can say is they're going to get used to each other in this series. There's 2 demos already. Taco Stash just getting back for that save. This Bubble Duckies side has only lost once this tournament, and that was in day 1 on this stream. Their very first series against Knights, but they aren't looking to lose here. Restaurant with the first goal, and the Bubble Duckies on the board.
Reshiram, being the legendary Pokemon that he is going to swat it on over the top and right on into the goal. First one on the board for Bubble Duckies. Got to feel pretty good. Only 60 seconds off this clock, and already Bubble Duckies taking the lead here in the grand finals. Ball now heading on down to Bubble Duckies side of the pitch. Swatted on over to Bluey. Bluey taps it on up. Adverse picks it up. Go keeping the action live down over on the Bubble Duckies side of the pitch. Corner from Taco Stash, the double tap, and he puts it on in. We're evened on out. Shawnee State find one on the board. Yeah,
and a great play from Taco Stash. Everybody's been saying his name tonight. Where is he? There he is. He's shown up. And the Bubble Duckies all getting played on the 1v3. A lot of mechanical plays early. A high-scoring start. My only hope is that this continues, because if it is, this ATS stream has had a history of having really bad grand finals. Maybe this can finally break our streak of bad grand finals.
No 4-0s here. Come on, we're going to end the streak of 4-0s in this tournament right here. I'm expecting a nice 3-4. I want to see this one go all the way. I want to see this one go all the way to champions and just see what happens, because this is going to be too good teams who are battling it out, and it's showing already, it's not going to be one-sided. 1-1 ball for, oh, so close to the Shawnee State goal. That one had me on the edge of my seat. Taps it out back, another close one off the left post. Restaurant now going over to the side, taps it on up, sees all three members of Shawnee State ready to deny him any coverage. He's like, okay, you know what, let's just pop this up, I'll take a step back and go for a little reset, and we'll just figure out how things are going to go. But instead, now Slayer taps it on over to the backcourt, picked up by Velocity. Taco Stash interjects, swats at him, gets him on out of there. Now again, Restaurant off the top, it pings off the top bar, and instead of going on in, it soars its way on out.
Taco Stash, Restaurant off the back wall. Shawnee State University will chase this one down as it's adverse. Restaurant with the redirects. It's Bubble Duckies waiting, but the Bubble Duckies side, one of the more mixed teams that we've had here, just by nationality. We have Bluey, who's from the US, Velocity, who is from England, and Restaurant, who is French. So, talking about a team full of a bunch of different players from all over the place, this Bubble Duckies side has it here as Bluey, midfield, adverse to clear. Restaurant plays it back, Velocity won't end the play, adverse on the challenge. Taco Stash waiting, Bluey, 1-2, touch away. Shawnee State definitely getting a handful so far, and now they made a mistake! An over-rotation or Taco Stash, and Bluey will take.
Take a look at this. Our camera was on Bluey that whole time, okay? Look at where he's just sitting there, waiting, stalking. He's like, this one's coming back. This one's coming right to me. I know it's going to set up right perfectly, and it did just that, okay? He knew it was coming, and that tells me confidence in your teammates, confidence in the plays that they're going to make, and communication in the comms, okay? That right there was what they needed. Bubble Duckies now 2-1 with only 2 minutes left on the clock. Slayer tapping it on over to Bubble Duckies center pitch. Taco Stash keeping up the aggression, keeping that one in play. Now over to the center. Oh, it goes right in front of the goal. The Restaurant pops it on up. Slayer keeps up the action. It goes right in front. Not going to make it happen, though, as two members of Bubble Duckies are ready to deny that one from evening them back on out. But how long will it last? Taco Stash tries to keep it on up. Slayer pops it over, and it soars right across the goal to the opposite side of the pitch. Adverse goes to Taco Stash, who swats it on up, and it goes on in. It's 2-2. It's even back on out. We're going 1-for-1 for goal, back and forth between these two teams.
And it's Taco Stash again who leads. I mean, he's MVP caliber, that's for certain. No question that these players can be MVP caliber. Only one of them will get that MVP award at the end of the night, but my goodness, Taco Stash making a good claim that he should be the one to get it already through game one. As Restaurant, Velocity bumped out the way, Slayer in next. Now he plays midfield as Taco Stash is waiting. Restaurant, up is adverse, and Shawnee State playing great on the passes and really good in the control. They know Taco Stash has been having a good night, and they're really utilizing that. Every play they have, they're looking for Taco Stash. They're looking for his chances, because good things happen. This one is wide. Slayer can't put it in. Taco Stash unable to shoot. But again, just let Taco Stash play and good things will happen. And that's been the mantra so far in this grand finals and in game one.
Man, the onslaught on the goal of Bubble Duckies right there, and it's not letting up right now as Slayer goes for it. Adverse goes for the rebound, but two members of Bubble Duckies are there to deny it. They are not giving them a moment to breathe. Bubble Duckies right now are on defense, okay? I mean, maybe not right now, but right now throughout that whole past minute and a half, I would say, it felt like Shawnee State was denying everything, but Velocity is denying them the opportunity to get back over there. Bubble Duckies now find another one. Velocity puts it on in. Bubble Duckies are leading 3-2 with 39 seconds left to go. But hey, if history of this game specifically has anything to say about it, we might see another goal come up very shortly by Shawnee State, so keep your eyes peeled.
39 seconds to come back, and it's really not that unreasonable for Shawnee State. Taco Stash has already got two. Off the sidewall. Adverse. Bluey. Slayer is waiting, but it is Restaurant who fakes it to Bluey. Saved by Taco Stash as he'll prevent Velocity from having anything to really work with. Slayer on the challenge. Now it's Adverse, who doesn't have a great read, but either did Restaurant. Slayer. Taco Stash is right there in support. Now he takes it around the corner. Taco Stash, Slayer, Bluey's got the block. It goes across the field as Taco Stash will take it. Time runs out. The Bubble Duckies look to ground this one is Adverse. Slayer, and it's over. Game one goes to the careless third seed.
Bubble Duckies taking the lead in this series, but I have to say, look at how back and forth it was. You guys can see right there on the screen right now. I mean, 2 versus 3, not that bad, not that far away from each other. You can see the amount of saves, the amount of shot attempts from these two teams, and look at that right across the bottom in terms of who's got possession of the ball. It's almost 50-50. It's been so close. We've been on both sides of this pitch. Both of these teams having good opportunity on offense as they do on defense. So far, it has looked phenomenally, and I have to say, man, I am excited for this series. If it's going to be as back and forth as game 1 was alone, yeah, I'm expecting maybe, you know, we'll see that in the games. The problem is right now, if you're Shawnee State, is you want to be on the leading end of that, and right now they aren't, okay, both in the goals and now in the series overall, okay? They're finding themselves down in that one game and now down in this series. I think they can pull it on back. It's going to come down to winning game 2, winning game 3, building a little bit of momentum for themselves. But as Bubble Duckies, are they going to be the ones who are building the momentum instead?
Well, it's only one game in a best of 7. That game could really not be that much in the entire series, but with how things have gone, the Bubble Duckies right now off to a strong start. Both these teams have swept their last 2 competitors. Now in a good chance to play in the grand finals and hopefully not get a sweep here. I mean, we're all hoping for a close series. I think we're all going to get one too as we go to game number 2. The Bubble Duckies may have started out with game 1, but a 1-goal difference. Shawnee State's not too far behind.
Shawnee State not far behind at all. Ball pops on. Off those Louis looks for it right off the goal, and he gets it. Louis, 5 seconds in, is going to find an opening goal off the kickoff. Game number 2 starting off strong for Bubble Duckies.
Right off the kickoff, you said it. And a big lead early, and every goal matters. If you're the Bubble Duckies, every goal, every play matters. You want everything you can do to take down Shawnee State. As adverse. Velocity. Played up as to Slayer now, but it's Restaurant who is there. Taco Stash. Off the sidewall. It will be played for adverse. Louis. Now Taco Stash again. Slayer, that's a great challenge and an open net, and it's off the bar and it stays out. A miss. Taco Stash has been impeccable in game 1, but in game 2, a bad start, a open net that he should be taking. And this game stays at a 1-0 lead for the Bubble Duckies, not by their own doing.
He just had too much forward momentum and wasn't able to get up above to be able to get at that ball. Really unfortunate opportunity. Ball not low. Leaving, and adverse is going to be able to find it. Shawnee State back on the board. Take a look at this, 40. 1-1. All tied up. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock.
The Shawnee State team knows how to come back. They know how to battle, and they know how to be right in front of you every single time. So far, they've been playing a series where they've been chasing this one. If they want to win this one, they've got to be the ones forcing Bubble Duckies to chase.
Forcing them to chase. Ball going on down right off the goal. You hear the ping. It was so close off that right post. Now soaring on down to the opposite side of the pitch. Shawnee State. A little bit of defense, not for too long. Adverse picks it up, pops it up over the top. Denied by Restaurant. Slayer catches it though and takes it up into the sky. Now looking for an opportunity. Taco Stash lurking on the wall. They want to be able to find something, but 3 members of Bubble Duckies are going to be a little bit too much for them to be able to find much, okay? 3.5 minutes left, trapped on down in Shawnee State's corner, and ball gets tapped on up. Velocity looking for a center ball, center opportunity. Taco Stash denies though. Good defense coming in from Shawnee State, but is it going to last? Restaurant goes, and it almost goes on him, but Taco Stash again there for the denial. Velocity now keeping up the action. Adverse denies it at close range. He swats that one out of the way. Taco Stash circles back around. Good defense right now. I'm just seeing Taco Stash on the denials.
Yeah, and that's the problem right now for Shawnee State. Taco Stash is doing a lot of work for them. You're not going to win if they play just a Taco Stash kind of game. He may be playing well, but you got to get adverse, you got to get Slayer, you got to get everyone involved. The Bubble Duckies know how to doing that as a pass in front. They'll be cut out by Slayer. I got to see more involvement from everyone else from Shawnee State so far. Feels like it's been Taco Stash versus Bubble Duckies. That's not a battle that you're going to win anytime soon. As the net's open, Restaurant takes Bubble Duckies lead.
Take take a look at that airborne dribble. He flew right over the top of them. He saw this one from the wall. He's like, okay, cool. Let me just do this. I have to get credit right down there to Bluey, okay? If you witnessed it just a moment ago, he went and was able to get the demo off and just deflect the only defender who was in the nearby neighborhood. Knock him on out of there. Bubble Duckies back on the board. That lead back on up there, 2-1 with 2.5 minutes left to go. We're still halfway through game number 2 right now. The Bubble Duckies are looking dominantly. They're taking the charge in game 1. They're taking the charge in game 2, and they're keeping up the action. I'm just wondering who's going to get that 2-goal lead, okay? Who's going to break this 1-1-1-1 cycle that we're seeing so far? It's got to come down to Shawnee State if they want to win this one out in the long term and take us all the way to, as I'm saying, take us all the way to game 7, but even just keep themselves even paced in this series.
Well, Taco Stash can do that here. Early chance. He's got so much respect there. 2 players from the Bubble Duckies will challenge. As it's played across again, Taco Stash doesn't have the boost, and Bubble Duckies know it. Up goes Velocity. And Adverse going in, up in front of the net. The bump as well. Bluey, the last one back. Slayer. Slowly made. Bluey has the hold. Adverse. Will flick it away. Velocity. Taco Stash. Slayer waiting, but it's Taco Stash who will be challenged by Reshiram. Adverse. What a pass! Velocity in front!
Velocity in the 1v1, and he's like, yeah, I got this. No problem. But there is the curse broken right now. Velocity versus Slayer gets it on past. Bubble Duckies now 2-goal lead. 3-1 with only a minute and a half to go. And I gotta say, gotta be feeling pretty good about that one. You know, these higher tier games are very low scoring, so having that 2-goal buffer against a team as good as Shawnee State is going to feel good. Bubble Duckies looking to take this not from a 1-game series. Yeah, you're not going back and forth in this series. They're gonna make it a 2-game series, I should say. 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. A little bit of aggression coming in from Shawnee State right now, but it's not going to amount to too much, I should say. Adverse pops it on up, goes on down. Slayer tries to get underneath it in the 1v1 with Bluey, and he's enough to deny it. Good read there by Bluey.
And Shawnee State still just unable to keep up with the might of the Bubble Duckies. Talk about rank overall. This Bubble Duckies team, I believe, is the highest ranked team in this tournament. Should tell you a lot about how this team has performed, although the reason that the 3rd seed, Careless mentioned before, the reason that this team's the 3rd seed, they have not performed well in their league. So, Bubble Duckies proving that it doesn't matter how you perform in the league, as long as you can perform when the moment matters. And here, it really does matter as Taco Stash left for Slayer, but it's Bluey on the challenge. It will be Adverse up in the air. Taco Stash, Reshiram to be there. Slayer playing patiently. Not a lot of time left, though, for Shawnee State. They've got to get down the field, and maybe this is it. Adverse, Demo, Taco Stash, and there's 1 goal to separate them.
Good demo. That's going to assist decided on in 1 goal separates them, like you said, but there's only 11 seconds left in this game right now. It's 2 versus 3. Shawnee State need to make something happen off kickoff, or at least keep that ball live in the 0-second mark. It's gonna come down to this. Here's the kickoff. Time starts ticking down. Ball over to Taco Stash, catches it off the wall, keeps it up, keeps it going, goes on close. It's gonna bounce on up. Slayer tries to get underneath it, and he does just that, but it's coming down too quickly. It bounces, and Taco Stash keeps it live. 0 seconds left on the clock. Adverse goes for it. The goal was there, but unfortunately nobody was ready for it. Bubble Duckies are gonna win game number 2 and push even further their lead here in the series.
A 3-0 series lead, the Bubble Duckies. Sorry, no, a 2-0 series lead, not 3-0 yet. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, but we are going into game 3. And Shawnee State University now face the same problem that Hunter X Knight do. They can't seem to outplay this Bubble Ducks team. They can't seem to outmanage them. They're in a tough position, to say the very least. And simply put, the same issue that Knight had. If they can't find a way to get through, they can't find a way to get a win, man, they are going to be really left in the dust. They've got to respond now or never if they want a chance at winning this Grand Finals.
It's good back and forth. We're talking about back and forth in the goals. I was hoping for a little bit of back and forth in this series, but you know, even in just the game in specific, both teams are having ample opportunities on offense as on defense. Both teams are having ample opportunities on either side of the pitch. You know, we're heading over to Shawnee State side, we're moving over to Bubble Ducky side. So that means, you know, you have the options there. The ball possession as well, close to that 50-50 if you guys were seeing on the scoreboard just moments ago, okay? So what does it come down to? It's the opportunities, you know, who's leaving the most openings and who's taking advantage of the most openings, I have to say. Shawnee State, they're just coming up on the short end of the stick right now. Bubble Duckies are seeking it. They are finding it. They are locking it on down, and they are leading the series 2-0. Will that continue, or will we see a little bit of a shift in Shawnee State University's gameplay? I gotta wonder, what does Shawnee State need in order to bring this on back? A little bit of more coordination, a little bit more setup. When they have the setup there, I feel like they don't have the final push. When they have that final push there, I feel like the setup wasn't enough. I feel like there's either one or the other that's there. I need to see both of those together. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, as you said, it feels like it's not all coming together. They don't have the glue for that they have so often shown. And against the Bubble Duckies, if you can't play cohesively, you're not going to have a good rotation, and that's where the Bubble Duckies' ability and skill can really outplay you here, as it is Reshiram looking to get things started with velocity. Taco Stash doesn't have boost. Bluey can't score this one, but already the Bubble Duckies trying to get things started, as up goes Reshiram again. Up off the ceiling. Reshiram still Slayer to clear. Up his adverse. He's got this one. It's in front of the net, and it's in the net. Shawnee State lead. I don't know if they've had one yet this entire series, but boy, do they need it now as well.
They have not led at all this entire series. It's always been Bubble Duckies to score first and score quickly as well. So Shawnee State being the first ones to score and being able to score quickly, I think this is looking really good right now for them. Now it comes down to keeping it. You're showing us that you have the potential to make it happen, but how long will it last? Not long at all. Reshiram comes on in, swoops on in, and sends it right on down. Take a look at this one. He saw it from downtown and just off the wall, puts it on away. Shawnee State, Bubble Duckies all tied up 1-1, and we aren't even 30 seconds into game number 3 yet.
What a showing, what a performance, and what a great goal for Reshiram, but that will not be enough. Here goes velocity. Reshiram again, saved by adverse, as that rolled right in front of the net. Bluey, velocity, Reshiram waiting behind. Taco Stash is there. Shawnee State floundering in the goal. They cannot get out yet. That's a big play for adverse. An even better touch just to get rid of this one and force the Bubble Duckies to play a little further back and give this Shawnee State team time. Up the back wall, Slayer, Taco Stash, adverse is there, Slayer again. Adverse, played by Reshiram as it's cleared all the way back to defense. Shawnee State University, chasing it after is Slayer. Bluey, across the back corner as it's Reshiram to hold. Flip reset. Bailey doesn't get much on this one. Slayer is just going to send it. Shawnee State, that's not going to beat them anytime soon. Here goes Reshiram. Nothing there. And Velocity's chance will go nowhere. Back and forth we go. Only one goal for each team. And again, as you said, a lot of offense, but not a lot of substance in these plays. If these teams are going to want to win, if Shawnee State's especially going to want to win, they've got to be a little bit more creative. Oh, what a strike! Velocity, no way!
Good read right there from Velocity. He saw Reshiram going for it, and he's just floating as insurance off the corner. And look at that pinch right on down, and it just gets right past Adverse. Adverse expected the first one, wasn't able to do much about that second one. Good refire, sends it on in. Bubble Duckies now have the lead here in game number 3. Something I do notice, and I'm not going to say it happened in that instance because it didn't, okay, is when Bubble Duckies sit there and they get on this rally offense style, you notice they are in position where the ball is going to be. They have one member kind of just lurking parked where the ball is about to land. I remember talking a little bit earlier in the series, I think it was game number 1, about Bluey just chilling, waiting, sitting parked right in front of the goal. He's like, okay, this ball is going to come right back to me. And sure enough, it did. And he was able to score off that. Just earlier in this game, we saw that with Reshiram, okay? He's chilling, he was waiting. He's like, he knew the ball was going to come his way. And sure enough, it did. The setup was there. And if you allow Bubble Duckies to play in that style where they're like, cool, we can position ourselves. You're not going to interfere with our setup. We're just going to be able to send it on in. They will score. It's shown time and time again. But also, if you leave opportunities open, you'll win out in the 1v1. Velocity will come on in. He'll swoop it on down and in and find a pinch spot right there and just send it on in. Ball in front of the goal, though, for Bubble Duckies right now is Shawnee State needs to close this gap. We're halfway through game number 3. Bubble Duckies leading the charge in game 3, leading charge in the series.
Yeah, as you said as well, game 3, match point on the line. If Bubble Duckies win this, they will have 4 chances at most to win this thing. And they'll look to make it happen, as that's going to go in. Nobody home for Shawnee State. And another for Velocity. 2 goals up. And you mentioned before how dangerous these 2-goal leads are, ZekVexol. Another one for the Bubble Duckies, and another one that is really going to eat away at Shawnee State's confidence.
Yeah, when you're in these higher divisions where you have the best of the best, these players, they are, really good. They have high MMR for a reason. These are the best ones in the top divisions of all of these amateur leagues. They're not going to give up a whole lot of openings. There's not going to be a whole lot of goals. They're going to be low-scoring games. So when you have that 2-goal lead, it matters, okay? It's like nail in the coffin matters. Like, it could come down to this. That's how bad it matters. And now this is turned into, from a little bit of a hill, okay, we can get this one back, to now, okay, it's 2. It's a little bit more dangerous. It's a lot bit more dangerous at these higher levels, okay? We'll see if Shawnee State can make it happen. A minute and a half left to go. Velocity kind of circling around. Restaurant wanting to pick this up. A little bit of back and forth across the center of the pitch. Taco Stash ends up winning it on. Now takes the ball up to the air. Looks up the goal. But Bluey gets behind it and denies. Good swat away from the Bubble Duckies. Bluey now heading on down over to Shawnee State's corner. Trying to get on offense. Slayer taps it over, rides the wall, gets around Bluey yet again on the denial. Taco Stash for the follow-up, but unfortunately Slayer gets in front of it, and it looks like it's just going to soar wide. Maybe it was trying to, I need to redirect this, I need to find something out, it's not going to go in right away. Cool, just keep possession of the ball, but 60 seconds are left on the clock, and they need 2 goals to tie.
I can tell you exactly what Slayer was thinking there. He's thinking, I need to get away from this play, and instead of getting away from it, he went right where the shot arrived as the Bubble Duckies again! Velocity! True spirits have flown. Velocity adds one more, and the Bubble Duckies just continue their dominance of the final bracket.
Yeah, 2-goal buffer, dangerous. 3-goal buffer. I'm sorry, guys. I'm scratching the back of my neck going, what do we do here? I'm feeling a little bit nervous, Bubble Duckies not only finding that, but Velocity with a hat trick here in game number 3. I gotta say right now, Sporty, Bubble Duckies are looking to line themselves up for match point. No, they're not looking for it, okay? They've already got it. They're locking this one on down. 30 seconds left to go. 3 goals separate these 2 teams. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take, honestly, a miracle at this point for Shawnee State to bring this one on back. They almost had it right there. Adverse was looking for it, but good defense coming in from Bubble Duckies. Now sitting over in the wall. 10 seconds to go. Sporty, I think this one's Bubble Duckies.
Well, not yet here. Taco Stash has got one. You can't say it's over just yet. We saw a amazing, I think it was a 7-second 3-goal comeback yesterday for Serenix Esports. So it's absolutely yeah, it actually happened. I believe it was Serenix who had it too. It's happened. It absolutely can happen. But you're talking about the grand finals. You're talking about a Bubble Duckies team that does not make it easy. Shawnee State will win the kickoff, but Restaurant takes. And now we can definitely say it won't happen. Restaurant looking for one more, but it will be cleared all the way away. And the Bubble Duckies are now on quadruple match points. Shawnee State University facing a real tough position, and they are using that tactical timeout. They haven't used it at all tonight. They'll use it here.
I think it's much needed here. I think, like I said, there's good back and forth between these 2 teams. Bubble Duckies are just finding opportunities of just open goals, open A. Shawnee State not being there, whatever it may be. Either way, there's an opening. There's a way for them to just slip on through or even just send the ball from downtown. Velocity, 3 goals this game, gets himself a hat trick. He's looking good. He's being someone who can find those openings, find those opportunities. I mean, look at this across the stats. 51% to 49% in terms of field domination. What side of the pitch we're playing on? 43% to 47% in terms of ball possession. Which team is got possession of the ball? It is 50-50. It is back and forth. It is just opportunities, openings being made, and opportunities being taken.
Shawnee State University, I don't think they ever used a tactical timeout in their ATS Pinnacle Cup run. They've used it here in the grand finals, down 3-0 against the Bubble Duckies. You gotta think for them that this is, if there's any moment for Slayer to be that captain, this is where you gotta be a captain if you're Slayer. He is the captain for a reason. He's a vocal leader for a reason. This is where, if you're Slayer, you got to make things happen. You gotta get this team moving. But for the Bubble Duckies, they're only one win away here from being Champions Cup champions, for being the best in the amateur league. Things are really in their favor right now, ZekVexol. What is it that can stop them right now? What have they done that Shawnee State can take advantage of?
I think Shawnee State needs the the mental fortitude themselves, and it is going to come down to, like you said, Slayer being the captain to pull it on through. And it's difficult in the online scene, you know, when you're there IRL at lands, whatever it may be, even in a real sport, you just grab your players by the heads, pull them close and go, guys, okay, bring our heads together, let's make this happen. You know, that kind of momentum builder, that motivation builder, I should say. As for what they can do against Bubble Duckies, I think there are opportunities there. It just goes back to what I said at the end of game number 2. Shawnee State either has the setup or they have the secure. They don't have both at the same time. Someone is there from Bubble Duckies if they don't have the setup. Someone is not there from Bubble Duckies if they don't have the setup. It's just this weird back and forth that we're seeing from Shawnee State. I need to see those come together, and everybody needs to see it happen now. Shawnee State needs to see it happen now. Sporty, it's match point, 5 minutes on the clock, time ticking down. It all comes down to this in our grand finals matchup.
Shawnee State University now need to win 4 in a row to take this tournament. The Bubble Duckies may only be 5 minutes away. Reshiram starting it. Almost on target. Adverse is up for it. Here goes Velocity. Slayer. Taco Stash keeps it up in the air. And right now for the Bubble Duckies, cutting things down. Nobody back. It's wide open for Velocity. And an assist for Bluey as well. Perfectly done by Bluey to recognize the space was open. And even better from Velocity just to know that net's there, and he just needs to put it in.
Just put it in, and he did exactly that. Velocity has been just a absolute king for sending it on down and finding those opportunities and locking it on in. Great job from Bubble Duckies, and they're on the board yet again, first in this series, okay? It has just been a dominant performance right now from Bubble Duckies. They are keeping it up. They are keeping it going. Now heading on down to their side of the pitch. Ball flowing on around, a little bit of back and forth right now. Taco Stash trying to pick it on up, and it just kind of coasts right across. See, this is what I mean. The ball is there, but the members of Shawnee State are not, or the ball isn't there when the members of Shawnee State are. It's either one or the other, but never both.
And that's the problem, and that's the thing right now. Shawnee State just cannot seem to get their play underway, can't seem to get their wheels greased to even attempt to beat the Bubble Duckies at the way that they're playing. But still they battle, still they hope. That timeout now used. Better hope it is for the better. Bluey takes it back to Velocity. Shawnee State will win this one though, but Bluey is there as well, and I like that play as well. Fakes it under Taco Stash. Cleared away by Reshiram. Velocity wins the challenge as Slayer jumps in. Now he keeps things going right through Adverse. Now it's Bluey. Shot saved by Taco Stash. Reshiram is up. This one played midfield. Adverse to clear. Velocity keeps it alive. The Bubble Duckies play mid. Bluey just waiting, and it's Taco Stash who has it. And it's Shawnee State University, who again, sitting in their own half, have not been able to get offense, but only down by 1. All it takes is one good play, one good counterattack, and they're back in it.
They could be back in it. We'll see how this ends up coming to fruition, but I really love the offense coming in right now from Shawnee State, but they're a little bit trapped on defense right now, okay? Bubble Duckies looking to find it, but there is an opening opportunity close, but no cigar. Adverse tried, but unfortunately the members of Bubble Duckies were able to get underneath it. It's just so difficult to find those openings, to find those opportunities against a team like Bubble Duckies. Like we say, this is the best of the best. They aren't going to leave many. Now over down in front of Shawnee State's goal. Now back on defense. It just feels like this game specifically, there isn't many opportunities. Close right now for Bubble Duckies on the shot after shot attempt, but it will get cleared out away. Over to the opposite side of the pitch. We're halfway through this game. Bubble Duckies still leading 1-0.
And the Bubble Duckies will love to keep that lead for the rest of this game, but I mean, they know they've got to get another goal to make things easier for themselves. That 2-goal lead has been how things have gone as a musty flick. Taco Stash keeps it above. Adverse plays to the side. Taco Stash now. It is Bluey. Taco again. Midfield. Slayer can't get enough on it as Velocity cleared away by Reshiram. Velocity. Back wall. And it will be Taco Stash to clear. Adverse is up. Taco Stash to follow. He's been quieter and quieter as this series has gone on, ZekVexol. And I really think, you know, if we talk about how Shawnee State's been playing, it's been how Taco Stash has been playing. He's been quieter as the series has gone on, and that's really been a major killer for Shawnee State's momentum, as this will be in. Velocity with a second.
Velocity with a second. Velocity. Okay, you're talking about Taco Stash kind of like teetering out a little bit. I'm going to talk about how Velocity is building up, okay, his momentum throughout this series. I'm seeing more and more. I'm shouting out more and more Velocity this, Velocity that. He's coming out swinging. He's making it strong, okay? This guy is off the wall. He's putting it on over, and he's putting it on in. I feel like, you know what, last game, he had a hat trick. This one now 2 goals under his belt. He is making it happen, and his team is allowing that to happen as well. Great demos, great setup, but most importantly, just the openings that are being left by Shawnee State. You saw that when he was able to march it down from downtown, and it just waltzed its way right on and in. You can't be affording those kind of opportunities, and I'm kind of leaning towards the fact of Shawnee State might be getting to a point where they're feeling a little bit desperate, where they know it's now or never, where they know they need to make things happen, and so they're kind of deflecting everything into offense and leaving no defense available. Ball going down over the Bubble Duckies side of the pitch, and it's like an all or nothing thing right now for Shawnee State. 60 seconds now, 45 seconds left to go. 2-0. Bubble Duckies are coming close. They are ready to make themselves the grand champions of the Amateur Rocket League Champions Cup.
40 seconds away, but it goes in! Adverse will win the challenge! And Shawnee State University have not given up hope. Half a minute's left. But it's half a minute they'll have to cling on to here. And that is what we will have to see. Kickoff won by the Bubble Duckies. Velocity next. He's had a couple goals already, looking for one more. Denied by Adverse. Restaurant to the sidewall. It is Taco Stash now who stays on it. Restaurant clears. 20 seconds now. Bubble Duckies holding on for everything they have. Shawnee State, maybe one last chance. Bluey clears. Slayer's up. The Bubble Duckies stay. It is Slayer who will do everything he can to keep it away. Velocity can't score. Slayer keeps it above. Shawnee State now needs to go across the entire field. Restaurant just needs to ground it. And he won't do that. It's kept up for now. Velocity drops it to the floor for a sweep. The Bubble Duckies are the best in the Amateur Rocket League scene.
We're talking at the start, you know, watching the back and forth of game number 1 and saying maybe this won't be a 4-0 sweep on this one. It's not the case, guys. Bubble Duckies end up taking it, but I have to say, this was a hard-fought one. Take a look at the ball possession, guys. I'm talking about how close it was, 50-50. I'm like saying, guys, generally 50-50. No, it is 50-50. Both teams had possession of the ball ample amount of time, at equally amount of time. Both have been playing almost equally on their side of the pitch. This has been such a great series between these two teams, and I have to say it was quite hard fought. It goes to show that they deserve to be here 100%, 1,000%. What a series this has been, and I have to say Bubble Duckies, though, they found the opportunities, they found the openings, and they were able to make it happen. They won in the cycles where they were doing, okay, we're doing some good team play here, but I have to say, I think it was more so less of those team synergy kind of style, how they played around the goal. We saw a few of those. More so, they found opportunities and they took them in an instant. Great reads by the members of Bubble Duckies and great secure. Congratulations on the victory.
Yeah, as you said as well, and KRLS, who had 4 teams coming into this final bracket, will also be the league that can represent a championship. So far in our free Champions Cup, well, free named Champions Cup, we've had 3 different leagues win. ATS has won, RLSS has won, and now KRLS has won. So what a great Champions Cup it is. We have not had this tournament in a very long time, but this reminds me of why we did it in the past. It's for stuff like this. It's for, well, these matches weren't very close, but it's for the excitement that they bring. As we saw a lot of sweeps tonight here, all but 2 of our matches were sweeps, so there are some clear frontrunners tonight. And again, credit where credit's due. The Bubble Duckies absolutely deserve this. They were by far the best team this evening, played by far the best, and deserve all the credit that comes to them because, I mean, seriously, the competition they had to play against, Shawnee State, had to play against Team Fortnite, they had to play against some good teams to make it.
I think that was just very well played. Honestly, I'm still just thinking about it. It was so well done by these teams. This has been a great tournament so far. So far, this has been a great tournament altogether. You know, it does come down to that. Shawnee State, unfortunate. They're going to be your runner-ups, and it is going to be Bubble Duckies as your grand champions. And Sporty, do we want to announce it now, or do we want to wait?
No, we'll have to wait a little bit longer. There's still a couple analysts that we got to wait on.
A little bit longer.
I know what you're talking about, though, the MVP award. We'll get that tonight. We will be mentioning that. That will not be going away. But we will have to wait a little bit just to make sure that we do have all of our analysts tell us what they think. But for now, credit where credit's due. Big win for them. And again, credit for Shawnee State as well, getting to the grand finals. They didn't do this in ATS Season 5, and yet they do it here when it went, in the Champions Cup against arguably much tougher competition.
There has been a really great competition. Honestly, I think there were a lot of great teams throughout this. Like we said, it's the top 4 teams from these 3 leagues. Guys, the 3 leagues, ATS, CPL, KRLS. You can go ahead and check out their Twitters. I believe they were posted a little bit higher up in chat to see how you can join on in. Get yourself some time in playing ranked. Go on into these servers, hang out in there, try to put together a team, see if you can get involved in a team, and just start getting involved, start getting into this, and maybe you could be on this stage playing at this higher division to be, like the Bubble Duckies, the best in the Amateur Rocket League series. There's a lot of action, a lot of money, a lot of tournaments, a lot of who knows what, and a lot of bragging rights on the line. I can see that.
I said as well, a lot of bragging rights and a lot of great leagues. And again, hopefully in the future we see this tournament revitalized again and again. Why am I saying hopefully? I've run this tournament. We're going to see it revitalized again and again as well. So don't worry, we'll be seeing a lot more of it here. But I mean, credit to the Bubble Duckies there. Not only winning, but 4-0, 4-0, 4-0. That's tough to do. That's really tough to do, considering the caliber of players they had to play against. That's tough to do. We don't see that happen often. I don't know if that's ever happened in an ATS tournament, ever. So that might be a first as well. That's what I'm thinking.
That could be, yeah. Honestly, just 4 O's back to back to back. I was really thinking this one wasn't going to be that with the way that it started out. I was like, okay, I'm expecting a little bit of back and forth in the series, but it was just back and forth in each and every single one of those games, and the end result was what it was. I think this was just a great tournament. I can only say it so many times. It's like, man, I'm a broken record. It really was a great tournament. There were a lot of great teams, and I mean, the end result is what I'm not surprised with it at all. Bubble Duckies they came out ready to play, and it really is who comes out to play the day of on these events. You're like, okay, some of these teams during regular seasons of leagues, they're not really showing up. They come out in playoffs, they come out in these tournaments and stuff like that. It really is who comes down to play when it counts, who shows up every given Sunday, like we used to say in football, or whichever day of the week you ended up playing on, but mostly Sunday night football kind of stuff. Every given Sunday, really, it is whoever comes out to play. It is Sunday now, so I'll say it, any given Sunday, whichever these teams decide to show up, or is going to be the team that comes out on top. And tonight, it is the Bubble Duckies.
As you said as well, it is the Bubble Duckies. Oh boy, what a tournament. That was 2 days of incredible action, 12 teams as well, and $150. Again, both of our top 2 teams will get a little bit of this. Shawnee State with 100, and the Bubble Duckies with, not the Bubble Duckies, Bubble Duckies with 100, Shawnee State with 50. I'm not giving second place more than first, I promise. As well here, so we'll just have to see about that. But man, I'm excited for this as well. As again, my goodness, what a night! I gotta say, what a night it has been.
It has been honestly a phenomenal night. It's been a phenomenal. Each of these leagues have had phenomenal seasons as well. A lot of them coming to a close, and yeah, like we've been saying, I mean, just great teams overall, great players overall. We've seen some big names. If you're over there in the rank scene, I'm sure you recognize a lot of them. These players who play at the top end of, ranked, obviously, over there in Rocket League. Some people who play up at that champion level, and it's just good. It's good Rocket League, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad we were able to bring it to you guys right here at the ATS, the Ascend Tournament Series Champ League.
Of course, and now we get to announce who the MVP is. We finally got an answer. It is Velocity who will win the MVP award as well. So another little award as well at the end of this thing. We always have an MVP. Tonight it is Velocity who gets it. So congratulations to Velocity. Another accolade. Why not? On top of winning this tournament. I don't think Velocity will mind that much. Another fun little accolade to add as well. But the Bubble Duckies will be champions here. Let's go get a raid out as well. This has been an amazing night of action, but I'm exhausted. I think all of us are a little bit exhausted, to be fair. I think it's time to get a raid and end the night. Thank you all so much for joining the Ascend Tournament Series stream for the Amateur Rocket League Champions Cup 3. I'm Sweaty seeing you, and this is ZekVexol. Before we leave, ZekVexol, anything else you want to say before we kind of end the night?
Yeah, I want to give a huge thank you to Sporty, guys, putting all this stuff on, organizing it, make sure a lot of this stuff happens, and a huge shout out to the rest, all of the organizations, CPL, ATS here, and KRLS. They really do a lot for their players. They really go above and beyond to make sure you guys have a place to play and make sure that you guys have a home to come back to have some amateur Rocket League action, to get those people to that next level, to cultivate talent, and they are doing exactly that. Make sure you guys check them out, give them lots of love over there on Twitter, check out their Discords, help out in there. Jump on in, play some games yourself, get involved in the next seasons. They will be coming soon. You will have more information on those, and they are here for you. But Sporty, again, thank you very much for having me join you here tonight. This has been such a treat.
It has been. Thank you all so much for joining the Amateur Rocket League Champions Cup 3 for myself and the Ascent Tournament Series, from the Hockey Rocket League Series and the Cross Progression League. Thank you all so much for supporting us and supporting this tournament. Take care, have an amazing night, and we'll see you all again. Hopefully, whenever we have another Champions Cup for ATS, though. If you want to see more ATS action, we'll be live next Friday with the ATS Crack Gaming Knockout Cup. For now, though, have a good night. We'll see you all then.
You are no good for me no more. We don't know how to love without a war. We're a disease without a cure. You wanna hurt just a little more. We are casually cruel. You were my training wheels on April Fool, but our tolerance is full. Don't wanna hurt anybody, hurt anyone no more. Ain't this a pity, watching your pretty smile so warm? And I am already halfway out the door. Then you'll go and kiss me, say you were tipsy, baby.